Welcome back to Audio Stop. Today, we'll make a special stop where fresh perspectives and ideas will unfold. If we previously explored reverse thinking, today, let's embark on a journey to understand open mindset through the book of the same name by author Nguyen Anh Dung. About the author Nguyen Anh Dung *. Nguyen Anh Dung is a mindset expert with many years of experience researching and applying open thinking. He has organized numerous workshops, shared knowledge, and inspired thousands of people, helping them transform their thinking and achieve success in life. About the book Open Mindset *. Open Mindset is not just a collection of theories, but a distillation of the author's learning process and real-life experiences. The book uses accessible, easy-to-understand language, helping you approach and explore the colorful world of open thinking. This book is a useful guide for anyone wanting to develop themselves, opening doors to a more successful and happier life. To understand the book's content better, let's explore it together. Let's begin now. Forward *. There's a story about a young man who thought he was smarter than everyone else and always acted arrogant and proud. But as time passed, he remained stagnant. His career didn't advance, and his relationships went nowhere. Eventually, he felt he couldn't continue like this and needed to do something. So he went to his teacher and asked, "Teacher, why is it that despite my excellent knowledge and skills, I remain stuck in the same place?" The teacher, silently pouring tea, said nothing. After a while, the cup was full, yet the teacher kept pouring. The young man exclaimed in alarm, "The tea is overflowing, teacher. Please don't pour any more." The teacher gently stopped pouring and calmly said, "You, in fact, are like this full teacup. Because your heart contains too much self-importance, believing that the knowledge you possess is already vast, you cannot absorb any other knowledge. That is why you cannot progress." The student was overwhelmed, profusely thanked the teacher, and left. That story teaches us that if we don't have a spirit ready to learn and embrace new things, we will always fall behind, unable to advance far on our career paths. In other words, we need an open mindset to be ready to be different and achieve miracles in life. But how do we acquire an open mindset, and how does it contribute to our lives? If you're asking these questions, this book is for you. This book is compiled based on the study and research of domestic and international materials, as well as the author's personal experiences. The author will bring you the useful values of an open mindset, helping you confidently conquer your dreams, readily embrace all obstacles, and always wear a happy smile. Part 1. What kind of person are you? *1. What are fixed mindset and open mindset? How are you thinking? We live in an era of rapid technological change. This demands flexibility in our thinking to keep up with global trends. In other words, we need an open mindset to embrace and explore new knowledge, because if we cling to our prejudices, our development will hit a dead end. So, how do we know what kind of mindset we have fixed or open, and how do we recognize it? Many definitions of concepts have been distilled by researchers or experienced individuals since ancient times. According to some reliable sources, with just a click, you can find the answers about these two types of mindsets. Fixed mindset * believes intelligence is innate, so there's a tendency to avoid challenges and give up easily when faced with difficulties. They see effort as futile, dismiss constructive criticism, and feel threatened by others' success. A fixed mindset also means rigidly sticking to one's own opinions and rarely accepting others' perspectives. For them, what they know remains immutable, even if information changes. Open mindset * believes intelligence can be developed. The tendency of this mindset is to accept challenges. If they fail, they view it as a lesson. They see effort as the path to success, learn from criticism, and learn from and are inspired by others' successes. Therefore, with an open mindset, you will see effort as necessary and the reward as knowledge, not just grades or passing a subject. An open mindset is a positive way of thinking, willing to absorb ideas, arguments, and information from various directions that may differ from or even contradict your existing views. Possessing this ability gives you a multidimensional perspective, making it easier to grasp problems and devise effective solutions. With an open mindset, you unlock a new door, step out of your comfort zone, and create the most wonderful things. But we can't always distinguish between a fixed and an open mindset. To better understand these two types of thinking, you can read the following story. Blind young man visited a relative. As it was dark when he left, the kind relative handed him a lantern for convenience on his journey. The relative said, "It's late and dark, take this lantern so it's less dim." The blind young man replied, "Uncle, you clearly know I'm blind. Are you teasing me by giving me a lantern?" The relative said, "Your thinking is very narrow. Not only you walk this path, many people pass by. If you carry a lantern, others will see you and they won't bump into you." The blind young man nodded in agreement after hearing this. Through this story, we can see that a fixed mindset is based on a personal viewpoint. A holistic mindset is when you place yourself in a complete environment and circumstances to think. When you think multidimensionally, you will see that every problem has other facets. More specifically, people with an open mindset believe that with effort, they can improve. They happily accept challenges, viewing them as opportunities to learn new and good things. When facing difficulties or failures, people with an open mindset often think, "This approach isn't working. Let me try another." For them, failure is just a lesson that helps them perfect themselves on their path to self-affirmation and career development. In contrast to an open mindset is a fixed mindset. People with this type of thinking are often quite conservative, only wanting to consider issues based on their own opinions without accepting other ideas or ways of thinking. This can make it difficult for them to face challenges or things that seem too big for them to handle on their own, leaving them feeling overwhelmed. Do you remember the story of the fortune tellers and the elephant? Each fortune teller stood at their own corner, touching a part of the elephant, and claiming the elephant resembled the part they touched, unaware that it was only a small part of the whole. But no fortune teller would concede to another. A fixed mindset can be understood this way, one-sided and full of prejudice. When comparing two types of people with these two mindsets, you'll find them easy to distinguish. A person with an open mindset is not only willing to consider opposing viewpoints, but also always gives others the opportunity to express their own opinions and arguments respectfully, even if they disagree. The other person always believes they are right and does not accept differing opinions. However, even if you consider yourself to have a fairly open mindset, there might be some topics where you are somewhat rigid. For example, when discussing social issues you care about or enjoy, such as when we chat about food, each person insists that their hometown's food is the best, the true authentic cuisine. I believe at some point, you might also let personal emotions and experiences dominate your opinions and perspectives. From this, we can clearly see the benefits that an open mindset brings to us in our journey of learning and career development, as well as in maintaining family happiness. These benefits include: provides deeper insight into life. Asterisk, a person with an open mindset continuously absorbs new knowledge and ideas, thereby enhancing their understanding of people and the world around them and perfecting themselves. Opportunities to experience new things. When you are ready to embrace everything with an open mind, you will have more opportunities to experience new things, push your own boundaries, and make life more colorful. Self-development. Asterisk, keeping an open mind helps you continuously learn and develop without getting too preoccupied with other issues. Mental strength. Asterisk, always being open and ready to embrace new things can help you become stronger and more vibrant. Optimism in life. Asterisk, open-minded people often overcome negative thoughts because they always try to understand and solve problems they encounter instead of holding themselves back. So, how do you recognize people with an open mindset? People with an open mindset often have the following characteristics. They are curious to hear how others think. They are capable of challenging their own beliefs. They don't get angry when they are wrong. They have empathy for others. They think about what others are thinking. They are humble about their own knowledge and expertise. They want to listen to what others say. They believe everyone has the right to share their beliefs and thoughts. Factors shaping a person's open mindset, asterisk. Personality, asterisk, openness to new things is one of the 5 factors of human personality. The other 4 are agreeableness, conscientiousness, emotional stability, and extroversion. If you find yourself aligning with many aspects of an open mindset, such as being willing to consider new ideas, experiences, and constantly self-reflect, then you are on the right track. Asterisk expertise. Asterisk studies show that a person who becomes an expert in a certain field often becomes less open. They tend to narrow their thinking and believe they have more knowledge and experience in that area. Therefore, they are often less receptive to others' opinions. Comfort with ambiguity. Asterisk, when faced with uncertainty and ambiguity in life, people often have varying levels of comfort. Those uncomfortable with ambiguity are usually less open because uncertainty tends to make them uneasy, even stressed. So, they maintain their beliefs and reject other ideas to maintain simplicity and safety. Some innate characteristics determine your level of openness, but you can also train an open mindset. Possessing an open mindset not only gives you many opportunities for career development, but also makes life more colorful and meaningful. To achieve this, you can apply the following methods. Asterisk 1. Fight against prejudices. Everyone has prejudices on certain issues. This is also one of the main reasons for conservatism, which makes you tend to seek information that supports your existing thoughts and refuse to absorb new ideas. Changing this is not easy. However, you can completely train and adjust gradually by taking time to consider issues comprehensively, weighing more aspects, and challenging your own thinking. From there, you gradually learn to resist prejudices to effectively absorb new ideas. Asterisk 2. Self-understanding asterisk. Learning to understand yourself is also an important factor in effectively training an open mindset. In this aspect, you need to clearly identify your abilities and knowledge in the field you are approaching by asking appropriate questions. For example, how much do I know about this field? Is this information reliable? Have you considered other aspects? Are there any prejudices influencing your thinking? Through this, you will better identify your needs and scope of understanding to approach new information in the most open way possible. Asterisk 3. Don't rush asterisk. Normally, human instinct is to find reasons to oppose what we disagree with, instead of listening and considering from multiple perspectives. These hasty reactions are the clearest manifestation of stubbornness, causing you to lose opportunities to access new ideas. Therefore, before any problem you find yourself stuck on, take some time to think and research before arguing, and be willing to accept your own limitations. Only then can you effectively train an open mindset. Asterisk 4. Be humble asterisk. Even if you are an expert in a certain field, you will still have certain limitations. Especially when a person believes they have learned all there is to know, they will have less need to absorb new ideas and information. Therefore, cultivating humility will help you recognize your own shortcomings and actively learn knowledge and experiences from the world around you. Asterisk 5. Have a flexible attitude asterisk. In life, everyone may encounter difficulties or things that don't go as planned. What you need to do is be flexible in your approach to solving problems and keep moving forward, instead of complaining and getting discouraged. See difficulties and failures as opportunities for growth, helping you progress in all circumstances. What kind of person do you want to become? What were your childhood dreams? Did you want to be a pilot, a police officer, or a teacher? Perhaps as children, we all wanted to become some kind of figure, but then grew up and forgot, or pursued a different ideal we thought suited us better. When that happens, two scenarios emerge. Either we wonder if we're normal, or we try to emulate someone we believe we resemble. Here's how you can change yourself without force. Assess your current situation asterisk. First, we start by defining who we are, not who we want to be, but our current self. Habits, preferences, strengths, weaknesses, places we frequent, personality, health, friends, family, job, income, financial situation. Take a piece of paper and write all these things down, detailing each aspect. This is your profile. This is you. You don't need to present this to anyone. Just write it down, and the results will surprise you. We often perceive ourselves as better or worse than we actually are. Through this exercise, you will understand yourself from a third-person perspective, without bias. Take about 2 to 3 days to do this. Just brainstorm and write down whatever comes to mind. Personal creation. Now organize what you've written into sections. Write these sections on another blank sheet of paper and set it aside. Think deeply about the person you want to become. The first exercise was analysis. This one is creation. Don't write down things you are sure you will achieve, like waking up at 5 a.m. or any specific activity. No, that's not what you need to do. Those are just activities. Focus on the person. You will limit yourself in many other ways. To change permanently, you need to change who you are. For example, you want to become a successful entrepreneur. What do people usually do? They take classes, try some ideas, network with like-minded people, and so on. Without thinking, all these things are good, but they are still just actions. Let's go back to the exercise. By now, you should have a clear and detailed profile of the person you want to become. The more characteristics of that person you embody, the better for you. Be the person you want to become. Actions will be a byproduct of this transformation. You will automatically wake up at 5 a.m. You will enjoy waking up early, and it will be very difficult to sleep late because that's not you anymore. Asterisk 3. Change your mindset, actions, and emotions the way you want. Perhaps you are facing difficulties or unexpected events, or despite great effort, you still encounter many failures. Is that due to bad luck? Certainly. But do you know that luck only comes when you truly make an effort? Effort, but it must be the right kind of effort, meaning effort with a mindset. Don't follow old patterns. Change your approach to problems to overcome difficulties. And to do that, you need to learn every day. Helen Keller once said, "People don't like to think. If one thinks, one must reach conclusions. Conclusions are not always pleasant." But James Allen also said, "The law of harvest is to reap more than you sow. Sow an action and you reap a habit. Sow a habit and you reap a character. Sow a character and you reap a destiny." Here are 7 ways of thinking that can change your life if you are willing to act. Think big and start with the smallest thing. Do you want to build a big company, earn millions of dollars, or change people's lives and contribute to the world? Never let anything limit your thinking. Since you have nothing in your hands yet, don't be afraid to dream big. Start taking action right away with the smallest things, carefully, to realize your ambitions. All the achievements you gain will gradually accumulate and build towards a larger goal. But if you don't dare to set big goals, don't dare to dream, the results you get will always be mediocre. Build relationships on a solid foundation. Many people endure bad relationships for reasons such as money, fear of loneliness, or a need for attention. If you realize it's a toxic relationship and cannot be improved, even after multiple attempts, then it's time for you to change. The foundation of relationships should be built on love, respect, support, trust, patience, and sharing both laughter and sorrow. Remember that nothing is free. No matter how you manage, you always have to trade time, money, or other resources for the things you want. Life is like business. Smart people use their efforts wisely and never waste resources. Don't be afraid to make decisions. You might think that not making a decision causes no harm, but that's a mistake. The worst thing about not making a decision is that you won't move, waiting, procrastinating, doubting, overthinking. None of these bring any benefit. Be confident when making decisions and acting. And when you make a wrong decision, frankly admit it and start over. To be more confident, first improve your skills. If you don't believe in yourself, don't try to find self-belief in articles, books, or self-development videos. You can only improve your self-confidence by becoming better at something. And the only way to help you is to learn, practice, and see the results achieved. It may take a long time, and your self-confidence will increase every day. Don't believe everything you see. We live in a world where everyone wants to stand out. Everyone wants to be famous and appear perfect in front of crowds. So, don't fully believe the success stories you hear or read in the media. Famous YouTubers, Instagram models, and billionaire entrepreneurs all seem perfect, but that's just the facade they want to show you. Don't be too skeptical, but don't let external glamour deceive you. You are the one who decides your own happiness. You are the one who controls your own thoughts. That means you are the one who decides how your life will unfold. If you feel depressed, sad, or disappointed, it's all because of you. Many people always think they will be happy when they are rich, owning luxury homes and cars, but they are wrong. Happiness in life stems from each person's mindset and actions. When you improve your way of thinking, even without a grand house, you will still be happy. Asterisk 4, you are smarter than you think. Fish swim in water, monkeys climb trees. Everyone has different abilities. Fish cannot climb trees and monkeys cannot swim. This does not mean that fish are stupid or monkeys are incompetent. It means that not everyone can know everything. Everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it is stupid. Believe it because it is definitely true. My friends who were straight-A students back then now earn less money than some problem students. Why? Because business is a field where straight A's don't decide everything. That's why there's something new for you: information about intelligence compiled from reputable sources. Professor Howard Gardner from Harvard University was the first to propose the theory of multiple intelligences. In his famous book, Frames of Mind, 1983, he felt indignant that everyone overvalued logical mathematical intelligence, IQ. They believed that a person would achieve the highest level of intellectual development if they had a high IQ and could become a scientist. This severely limited the potential of some people because they didn't fit this standard of success. Besides, Gardner was surprised that factors related to art were completely overlooked and underestimated. He also noticed that people with high IQs were considered intelligent, while those with artistic or other talents were deemed gifted. Dissatisfied with this distinction, Gardner researched and developed his theory, thereby introducing different types of intelligence. He argued that intelligences do not operate independently but combine, and we all have strengths in not just one but several specific types of intelligence. Gardner also emphasized that factors like genetics, environment, and culture determine how these intelligences combine and how they develop to their highest potential. Later, Gardner's theory continued to be studied and expanded. To date, there are a total of 9 types of intelligence. The 9 types of intelligence he specifically outlined are as follows. Linguistic intelligence, word smart. Characteristics. Asterisk, this is the ability to think in words and use spoken or written language in diverse, flexible ways to express complex ideas and messages. Strengths, asterisk asterisk, reading, writing, storytelling, memorizing, thinking in words, playing with words. Best learned by asterisk asterisk, reading, listening to lectures, seeing words, speaking, writing, discussing, and debating. Typical professions, asterisk editor, translator, politician, lecturer, teacher, journalist, reporter, writer, poet, actor, historian. Logical mathematical intelligence, reasoning smart. Characteristics, asterisk, you feel drawn to mathematical problems, strategic games, or experiments. If so, you might possess logical mathematical intelligence, the ability to perform calculations, estimate, weigh possibilities and hypotheses, and think logically. This intelligence is also associated with the traditional view of IQ and often appears in respected professions like scientists, researchers, professors, doctors, lawyers, pharmacists. Strengths, asterisk, math, logical thinking, reasoning, problem-solving, research experiments. Best learned by, asterisk, recognizing patterns and relationships, classifying and organizing information, working with abstract problems. Typical professions, asterisk, accountant, auditor, system analyst, programmer, economist, engineer, lawyer, mathematician, pharmacist, physicist, doctor, researcher, statistician, detective. Interpersonal intelligence, self-smart. Characteristics, asterisk, this is your capacity for self-understanding, clearly recognizing your thoughts, feelings, and characteristics, and using this knowledge to plan and guide your life. Self-awareness is a crucial skill for everyone. However, individuals with interpersonal intelligence have a natural ability to connect with their emotions and inner experiences. Strengths, asterisk, self-understanding, self-awareness, recognizing strengths and weaknesses, goal setting, working independently, pursuing personal interests. Best learned by, asterisk, working alone, undertaking personal projects, having autonomy over time, having private space. Typical professions, asterisk, psychologist, philosopher, writer, theologian, career counselor, consultant, criminologist, entrepreneur. Naturalist intelligence, nature smart. Characteristics, asterisk, this is the ability to distinguish and classify living organisms in nature, trees, animals, insects, as well as sensitivity to other elements of the natural world. clouds, weather, soil, rocks. Strengths, understanding nature, recognizing and classifying animal and plant species. Best learned by, working in natural environments, exploring the natural world, learning about plants, animals, and natural phenomena. Typical professions, astronaut, biologist, zoologist, conservationist, gardener, agriculturalist, animal trainer, geologist, ecologist, veterinarian, nature wildlife photographer. Musical intelligence, music smart. Characteristics, this is the ability to recognize rhythm, pace, timbre, pitch, and tone of sound. This ability allows you to create, produce, and perceive music and sound. Strengths, singing or playing musical instruments, perceiving sound, memorizing rhythms and melodies. Best learned by, rhythms, melodies, lyrics, listening to music. Typical professions, performer, composer, music critic, music producer, sound therapist, songwriter, singer, speech therapist, musician, vocal coach. Interpersonal intelligence, people smart. Characteristics, this ability includes effective verbal and nonverbal communication, the ability to notice differences between individuals, and sensitivity to the emotions and attitudes of those around them. Strengths, understanding others, communication, organization, leadership, conflict resolution. Best learned by, sharing, discussing, collaborating, networking, interviewing. Typical professions, diplomat, leader, manager, lawyer, secretary, social worker, salesperson, receptionist, psychological counselor, childcare worker, coach. Bodily kinesthetic intelligence, body smart. Characteristics, this is the ability to control and use objects and combine various motor techniques of the body. When a soccer player performs a spectacular kick or a dancer performs a graceful, acrobatic movement, it can be said that they possess this type of intelligence. They may not be able to identify the physical or mathematical properties of their actions, but their innate coordination between brain and body replaces these abilities. Strengths, physical activities, dancing, performing, using tools, playing sports. Best learned by, practicing, moving, memorizing knowledge through body movements. Typical professions, athlete, dancer, mechanic, actor, artisan, carpenter, construction worker, firefighter, physical therapist, police officer, special forces, nurse. Spatial intelligence, picture smart. Characteristics, this is the ability to think in 3 dimensions, including the ability to imagine images, spatial reasoning, manipulate images, graphic arts techniques, and a rich imagination. Strengths, reading and remembering maps, charts, drawing, imagining, designing, visual thinking. Best learned by, images and colors, drawing, visualizing, imagining. Typical professions, painter, architect, graphic designer, engineer, fashion designer, interior designer, photographer, pilot, sculptor, strategic planner, surveyor, truck driver, urban designer. Existential intelligence, spirit smart. Characteristics, this type of intelligence did not appear in Gardner's initial work, but was recently added. This intelligence is the ability to be sensitive to, perceive, and respond to profound questions about human existence. For example, the meaning of life, why we are born and die, and how humanity has evolved to this day. Typical professions, pastor, priest, yoga instructor, meditation guide, philosopher, preacher. 5. Awaken the confidence within you. Confidence is incredibly important in almost every aspect of life, yet many people struggle to find it. How would you feel with more confidence? Studies have shown that confident people feel more successful. They set goals and achieve them more easily. Confident people tend to feel happier in their personal and professional lives. But how can you gain confidence? The good news is that you can learn it and become a confident person. Before we elaborate on how you can become more confident, let us tell you a story. True beauty lies in confidence. Jenny was a shy and insecure girl. Feeling unattractive, Jenny always kept her head bowed low. One day, on her way to school, Jenny passed an accessory shop and spotted a beautiful bow-shaped hair clip. Seeing Jenny try on the clip, the shop owner immediately rushed over, showering her with compliments about how pretty and lovely she looked. Hearing such enthusiastic praise, Jenny, though disbelieving, felt a surge of joy inside and unknowingly lifted her head high. Jenny quickly paid and ran to class. She was truly eager to show everyone her unusual prettiness, but as she reached the door, Jenny accidentally bumped into someone. She quickly apologized and then rushed straight to class. As soon as she entered the classroom, Jenny met her teacher at the door. The teacher patted Jenny's shoulder, admiring her. "Jenny, you look so pretty with your head held high." That day, Jenny received many compliments from everyone. Because of this, she believed the hair clip had made her beautiful. Jenny happily took out a mirror to admire her new secret weapon. However, only then did she realize that the magical hair clip had vanished without a trace. In reality, the hair clip had fallen off when Jenny bumped into the stranger at the accessory shop. Many people, due to their physical complexes, miss out on a lot of joy, but they don't realize that confidence is the most beautiful accessory a person can wear. What do you see in this story? Confidence depends on your readiness for it. It all depends on you, your own choice and decision. You need to act now. Action is an effective way to build lasting confidence. It's also crucial when you decide to do something and then go out and make it happen. That gives you proof of your own talent and ability. This helps you become more confident. Once you've taken action, you need to repeat it to master that specific skill. In other words, practice, practice, and practice. If you need to give a speech, practice in front of a mirror or speak in front of your family and friends. When applying for jobs during college, I practiced interviews many times with another student. I practiced until I felt so comfortable that every subsequent interview went smoothly and was even enjoyable. The key to always being confident. Plan to do something and go do it. Follow your plans. Actively seek opportunities instead of waiting for them to come to you. Practice, practice, and practice. The most important message for you is that you can awaken your confidence. It can be built or developed just like any other skill. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Life changes, and so do you. Use the power of confidence to shine, and you will succeed and change your life. *6. Brave the challenges. No difficulty can resolve itself and disappear. Any difficulty, big or small, needs to be solved, and we are the ones who undertake that task. Many young people today, whenever they encounter difficulties or challenges, run to their parents, asking this or that person for help. But can your parents and relatives clear the path for you your whole life? In China, there's a famous saying that reflects social reality. "My father is a court official." Children of high-ranking officials are flattered and protected their whole lives. Even when committing crimes, they dare to loudly challenge authorities. Do you see many such scenes in life today? Living dependently, relying on parents' status, letting parents and those around bear all the responsibilities of their lives. Can you truly struggle through life's storms if, by chance, your parents lose their fortune or fall from their current position? No one can predict life. So, learn to live and overcome life's challenges on your own. If you can't even solve your own difficulties, can you have the happy life you desire? Facing challenges not only helps you become more self-confident and righteous, but also helps you assert your position with others. If you want to be a leader or a manager, you must at least demonstrate your abilities to them, right? Even if you don't have to painstakingly climb every rung of the career ladder, you should let others see that you deserve that position. So never try to avoid your difficulties. If you are 20 years old and still call your mother to ask how to solve this or that problem, or ask her to clean up your mess, perhaps you should reevaluate yourself. Be a grown-up, never just a big child. Let me share a story we collected for you. 2 teachers and students were climbing a mountain when it started to rain. The student turned to the teacher and asked, "What should we do now?" The teacher immediately replied, "We need to climb to the top of the mountain." The student felt very strange and asked, "Why not go down the mountain? Isn't the wind and rain greater on the mountaintop?" The teacher answered, "Climbing to the top of the mountain, the wind and rain may be very strong, but it will not threaten your life. Conversely, if you go down the mountain, the wind and rain may be a little lighter, but you could encounter landslides or mudslides and lose your precious life." Finally, the teacher advised the student, Wind and rain are unavoidable. Bravely facing them is the safest. Asterisk 7. Failure is normal. Success is something everyone desires, but it's hard to define what success truly is. Some measure success by achieving a big contract or a high career position, while others measure it by simply completing a task excellently. But whether you're pursuing wealth, high status, or fame, the path to success is always full of thorns. Even those you achieve high results unexpectedly, or even your parents, who are happily chatting with you at the dinner table, have experienced difficulties or hardships at some point in their lives. Celebrities are not exempt from life's ups and downs, but they have proven that you can overcome them regardless of your age. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, while Oprah Winfrey was fired from her television job as a 6 p.m. news reporter in Baltimore. Even America's most famous home chef, Julia Child, could only boil an egg until she was 36. We are all human, and no one is perfect. Mistakes are often a reality of life, whether small or large, helping us grow emotionally and improve our skills or decision-making abilities. And if you give up now, you might miss a huge opportunity. Failure is just a challenge. You will succeed if you see it as an opportunity. Conversely, here are 3 ways to overcome failure. Accept your own emotions. You failed, you need to accept it. The more you resist that feeling, the worse you'll feel. No one achieves success in life without experiencing failure, especially for those who weren't born with a silver spoon. Accept everything that is happening, bring yourself back to square one, ready to start over. Change your mindset about failure. Instead of focusing on what you've lost, focus on the opportunities after failure. Pain is always an opportunity to grow. Look back at the failure, find the real problem, and learn from it to prepare for better alternatives. Turn plans into action. Once you've learned from failures, it's time to act. For example, if your resume was rejected, redo it better and keep sending it. What brings you success is not the resume, but your spirit of not giving up. CV stands for curriculum vitae. A CV is a summary of your educational background, work experience, and skills relevant to the job you are applying for, intended to make an initial impression on recruiters. Asterisk 8. Stop controlling. I have a little friend, and thanks to him, I've grown a lot. He's my uncle's son. He taught me to be a better adult, because I needed to set an example for this little friend, knowing he was quite influenced by me. Before I knew it, my little friend was almost 18 and beginning to face life's questions. Which school should I attend? I had a few suggestions for my friend and added that I had a friend who taught there, so I'd ask around. But you know what? My little friend immediately said, "Then I won't take the exam for that school." I was briefly surprised and realized that my little friend was afraid of being controlled. And the truth is, every child longs to break free from their family's embrace, to be free to do what they want as they grow older. We were like that too. Another truth I want to tell parents is, don't expect to be able to control your children. Frankly, it's impossible. Don't control your children by demanding reports of where they go, forbidding certain activities, expecting absolute obedience, or even secretly checking their phones and diaries. Control by setting household norms and being a role model. Beyond that, anything can happen, so just be there for your children and help them express their desires as early as possible, and become a good friend they can trust to confide in and share with. Household norms keep children from falling into traps and give them the courage to overcome temptations, minimizing bad deeds. Being a role model helps them make choices every day to be independent and take good care of themselves. Because they are loved and have a home to return to when tired, what external difficulties could they fear? Don't control, let go. When it's time to grow up, a child will instinctively know how. Or in love, people often try to control their partners. Sometimes, this very control stifles the love between two people. Where are you going? What are you doing? With whom? Or even checking their phone are clear signs of someone who likes to control. And they think that's love. But love, though too, is one. Everyone needs their own identity, their own joy, and because each person has their unique beauty that attracts each other, right? Yet what are we doing? We force them to do what we want, thinking that's love. If they don't, it means they no longer love us. How ridiculous. If this continues over time, the partner will lose themselves and no longer want to continue the relationship, and love will end. Therefore, in any relationship, the more you control, the more you fail. Let your partner be free, be themselves, and you too should be yourself. Only then can life be comfortable and happy in the long run. Asterisk 9. Learn to be creative. I don't even know where to start. I'm not a creative person. We've all had those frustrating moments when we're supposed to come up with a brilliant new idea, but no matter how much we stare at the computer screen, we just can't seem to think of anything good. That's when we look at our colleagues, those who are naturally creative, and wonder why we can't be like them. But perhaps we're looking at it wrong. In fact, many psychologists argue that creativity isn't something people are born with. It's actually a skill that can be learned. And as with any other skill, you can only get better with practice. So what can we do to cultivate that creativity when we're struggling to come up with new ideas? Everyone has their own ways to get back into shape. Here are a few suggestions to stimulate your creative thinking. Morning free writing. Asterisk start with a morning free write. We all have mornings where we walk into the office, and all we can think about is our dense to-do list. But focusing solely on the volume of work that needs to be done can stress us out and even make us lose our own creative inspiration. On days like these, morning free writing anything you want as a way to refocus. According to a study by Harvard Business School professor Teresa Amabile, regularly journaling at work allows you to explore your thoughts and perspectives and become more creative. Take a creative course. Asterisk if you're the type of person who prefers guidance, taking a creative course can be the right way to direct your creativity. Creative courses can be anything from writing, graphic design, video editing to music, art, and design. Regardless of the course you take, you'll be exposed to different ways of thinking and approaches to work that you can apply to your own tasks. Additionally, it can help you discover some strengths and overcome some weaknesses. Brainstorm while exercising. Asterisk if you feel like you've worked hard and your creativity is still at zero, try to energize yourself with 30 minutes or more of exercise. A study has shown that regular exercise can healthily train your cognitive thinking and creative ability. Take 30 minutes out of your day to jog, perform some energetic yoga poses, or do some exercises at your workplace. It will benefit both your body and mind. Travel far away. Asterisk because your creativity is linked to how your brain works. It's important to keep your mind stimulated by new sights, sounds, smells, and experiences. Exposure to an entirely different perspective through new cultural experiences and keeping your senses sharp will allow the neural connections in your brain to think in new ways. By interacting with art, music, and people in various places, you will learn new ways of thinking that you can later apply to your own ideas. Allow yourself to be lazy. Asterisk many of us are often so busy that we rush from one task to another all day long. But if you are always busy, it means you are not giving space for your own thinking to develop. If you want to be more creative, sometimes you need to allow yourself to be bored and unfocused. At that moment, you will daydream and activate the brain's default mode network. And many studies indicate that idleness and the trivial things you do when bored will spark creative thinking and can lead to a host of fresh, innovative ideas and a fresh, creative way of thinking. Spend time reading books. Asterisk reading is the best way to relax your mind. Reading helps you open your mind to new ways of thinking and thereby promotes creativity. Start reading books on topics you genuinely love. Spending 30 minutes reading every day is wonderful. Once reading becomes a daily habit, you'll find it very easy. By then, you'll be reading at least 1 to 2 books a month. Part 2, Change or Die, continued. Asterisk 1. Step outside your comfort zone and always try new things. Stepping outside your comfort zone is a phrase you hear a lot everywhere you go. But what a comfort zone actually is, not everyone truly knows. We need to clearly understand this to overcome fear, and only then can we truly step outside our comfort zone and make a difference in both work and life. The fear of failure can be something terrifying for everyone because it is built from previous material and emotional failures. To protect themselves from facing failure, defeat, and suffering, people often create something called a comfort zone for themselves. A comfort zone is a term that refers to a person's psychological state where their emotions become comfortable and familiar with their living and working environment. Within their comfort zone, an individual's daily activities are comfortable and stably controlled because they don't have to bear much pressure or face risks. People in this state can work to maintain stable performance and are not significantly affected by negative emotions because risks and anxieties are minimized. In other words, this zone provides you with stability. It's safe, but it's also an obstacle for every individual to achieve success in work and life. Within the comfort zone, people don't experience breakthroughs because they only repeat processes without having to deal with too many difficult problems. Gradually, people lose motivation, the driving force and fuel that pushes individuals to break existing boundaries and reach new heights. Inside the comfort zone, people often do not engage in new experiences or accept any challenges. They only participate in familiar activities that make them feel in control of their environment. This will cause them to fall behind day by day, leading to a boring life. Therefore, they need to change and change gradually, step by step. The secret is: 1. Embrace everything outside your comfort zone. The more you know about something, the less scary and more empowering you'll feel. 2. Think about your goals. Write down a detailed, step-by-step plan for how you will break out of your comfort zone. Then, create a plan to achieve it level by level. Within this plan, create small goals that help you take one more step to overcome your comfort zone easily. 3. Maintain positive thinking. There will be times when you encounter undesirable results. That's a natural part of the process, but remind yourself that it's natural. Those results will give you more lessons. 4. Review your achievements. It's said that achievements are often made by courage. By looking back at your greatest successes, you will remember that courage is what led you to that outcome. 5. Challenge your habits. Every now and then, try something new and stick with it until it becomes a habit. Then think about the next challenge you need to overcome. What good habits do you have? What bad habits do you have? Do you dare to change bad habits to make yourself better? First, you need to be ready for this. If not, you will remain stagnant. If you don't dare to change, don't blame circumstances or fate. You know what? Successful people don't work in their comfort zones. Famous actor Les Brown once said, "If you put yourself in a position that is beyond your comfort zone, then you are forced to expand your consciousness. Expand your consciousness to fully realize your potential by changing habits." 6. Learn from failure. Keep visualizing success, and while waiting, don't forget all the valuable lessons you've learned. Focus on what you learn from every experience and how you overcome them. Stay calm to achieve everything. The story goes that a father searched everywhere for his watch but couldn't find it, becoming increasingly agitated. After he left, his son quietly went into his room and found the watch in just a moment. The father asked, "How did you find it?" The son replied, "I just sat silently for a while and could hear the ticking of the watch." Calmness makes your soul more serene. It is the cradle of strength. Everything you do can be better when you feel comfortable and relaxed. Happiness or suffering is determined by your mind. If you cling to attachments, hatred, and strife, you invite suffering, but if you let go, you will find peace. Learning to stay calm is the secret to overcoming emotional obstacles and also a soft skill that can bring future success. If you don't know how to stay calm when angry, it can lead to a series of problems such as speaking harsh words, affecting mental health, and physical violence. You will waste a lot of time thinking about upsetting events or taking out your anger on people you dislike. Staying calm does not mean you will never get angry. Instead, this method involves learning how to cope with and express anger in a more positive and healthy way. Let's learn ways to stay calm, helping you maintain a steady mind. Identify triggers. If you tend to lose your temper, you can easily identify what makes you angry, such as waiting, traffic jams, criticism, or simply being overloaded with work. However, this doesn't mean you have the right to blame others or external circumstances for making you lose control. Instead, you need to develop a suitable plan to control these anger triggers or simply avoid them. There are many ways to avoid triggers. For example, scheduling your travel time to avoid long waits, or learning to reevaluate yourself when criticized. Deep breathing. The deep breathing method is one of the most common ways to stay calm recommended by healthcare professionals to help control anger. However, it's important to know the correct breathing technique to effectively maintain calmness. According to the authors of a 2017 study, diaphragmatic breathing can help relax the body. In the study, one group of participants practiced diaphragmatic breathing while the other group received no treatment. At the end of the study, the diaphragmatic breathing group had lower cortisol levels, a stress-related hormone, and better attentional capacity. The steps for diaphragmatic breathing include lying on a flat surface, head propped with a pillow, knees slightly bent. Place your right hand on your chest and your left hand on your abdomen just below the rib cage to feel the movement of your diaphragm as you breathe. Inhale slowly through your nose so that the hand on your abdomen feels your stomach expand, with no chest movement. Contract your abdomen and exhale slowly through your mouth, with the exhalation time twice as long as the inhalation time. Write down all unpleasant emotions. Negative feelings often have a bad impact on your mental health whenever you experience them. However, some studies show that journaling your thoughts can be an effective way to stay calm and control negative emotions. Some 2017 studies showed that writing about emotions can help reduce physical and psychological symptoms. The study authors worked with 66 people who wrote about traumatic, emotional, or significant stressful events for 20 minutes daily. The results showed positive effects on their emotional coping abilities, improved communication skills, and cognitive function. Asterisk focus. Concentration is considered key to success in career and study. Despite knowing this, people still can't avoid distractions from countless forms of entertainment. This is also why many people seek to train their ability to concentrate to increase work and study efficiency. How to train? Let's find out. Pomodoro technique, asterisk, this is a gradual method of training concentration. The mind, like muscles, needs time to train to gradually yield results. The Pomodoro technique applies this method to help increase concentration. Specifically, we will practice concentration combined with rest. It might be difficult at first, but you can try to concentrate intensely for 30 minutes, then rest and relax for about 15 minutes. The important thing is to be completely focused and dedicated to the work. After about a week of applying this work and rest schedule and seeing results, you need to increase the training time further. Then, after about a week, the rest time will be reduced. Gradually reducing the rest time while maintaining work efficiency means you have succeeded. Meditation, asterisk, if the Pomodoro technique uses time as a benchmark, meditation is a method to increase concentration through breath. An experiment with 140 people over 8 weeks showed that meditation is effective in cognitive function and concentration. This method allows people to increase their brain's concentration time for hours simply by breathing in and out. Specifically, practitioners need to spend about 20 to 30 minutes each day meditating, relaxing their bodies, and focusing on breathing. The special thing about this method is that it not only helps increase concentration, but also supports improving the health of the practitioner. Mindfulness practice, asterisk, mindfulness practice has many similarities with meditation. However, instead of sitting in one place just to focus on breathing, this method has a much more diverse way of practicing. Mindfulness is simply understood as focusing intensely on the task at hand, slowing down thoughts, and trying to observe all changes in body and mind. Therefore, this method allows for diverse ways of mental concentration, even while eating. Specifically, you can practice it like meditation or try to chew your food very slowly and concentrate on the actual taste of the food. Thanks to this method can combat factors that cause distraction in work or study. Slow reading, asterisk, many people constantly try every method to improve memory and concentration, unaware that reading is also an effective method. Nowadays, with technological advancements, people almost don't have to remember anything. If needed, they just jot down notes on their phone or computer, and then when the time comes, the device will automatically remind them. This inadvertently makes people lose their ability to recall events. Thus, the slow reading method was born. Research has shown that only 5% of newspaper readers try to finish an article, even if it's an online newspaper that can be opened quickly. Many people don't even read any books in a whole year. The slow reading method, by encouraging people to fully focus on the text until the end, trains concentration to understand the full meaning of the article. Try to gradually increase the length of the article over time for the highest effectiveness. Exercise, asterisk, there are countless methods to answer the question of how to concentrate intensely, but no one thinks exercise is one of them. Exercise is often seen as a way to improve health and stay in shape more than to train the mind. However, in reality, physical training brings practical benefits to the mind. A comfortable, relaxed body will help the mind concentrate more easily on work. Specifically, exercising for a certain period helps people eliminate external distractions. After a period of training with gradually increasing intensity, you will not only have a beautiful physique, but also a strong will and the ability to resist distracting factors. As a result, your ability to concentrate at work and study will also be significantly enhanced. Asterisk, effective time management, the key to all success. Have you ever wondered why everyone has the same amount of time, 24 hours a day, but some succeed and some fail? Effective time management skills are the answer to this question. How fast or slow your journey is, whether you reach your destination or not, depends on how we use our time. Using time well is an essential skill everyone needs. First, you need to understand your own time management key. 1. Set precise goals. Set achievable and measurable goals. Use the SMART method when setting goals. Essentially, ensure the goals you set are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. 2. Prioritize wisely. Prioritize tasks based on importance and urgency. Review your daily tasks and determine their level of important and urgent, asterisk, do these immediately. Important but not urgent, asterisk, decide when to do these tasks. Urgent but not important, asterisk, delegate these tasks if possible. Not urgent and not important, asterisk, set these aside for later. 3. Set time limits. Setting time limits for completing tasks helps you focus and work more efficiently. Putting in a little extra effort to decide how much time you need to allocate for each task can also help you recognize potential problems before they arise. That way, you can plan to deal with them. For example, suppose you need to write 5 reviews in time for a meeting. However, you realize that you will only be able to complete 4 of them in the remaining time before the meeting. If you know this fact in advance, you could easily draft one of the reviews for someone else to write. However, if you don't bother to check the time for your tasks beforehand, you might not realize your time problem until just an hour before the meeting. At that point, finding someone to delegate one of the reviews to might be much more difficult, and it would also be harder for them to fit the task into their day. 4. Take breaks between tasks. When you perform many tasks without taking breaks, you will find it difficult to concentrate and lack motivation. Allow for some downtime between tasks to clear your mind and relax. Consider taking a short nap, going for a short walk, or meditating. 5. Be organized. Use your calendar for long-term time management. Write down deadlines for projects or for tasks that are part of completing the overall project. Think about which days might be best for specific tasks. For example, you might plan a meeting to discuss cash flow on a day when you know the company's CFO is free. 6. Eliminate unnecessary tasks activities. It's important to eliminate superfluous activities or tasks. Identify what is important and what is worth your time. Eliminating unnecessary tasks activities will help you have more time to devote to what truly matters. 7. Plan ahead. Make sure you start each day with a clear idea of what you need to do, what needs to be completed today. Consider making it a habit at the end of each workday to write down a to-do list for the next workday. That way, you can hit the ground running the next morning. Consequences of poor time management, asterisk. Wasted time. A simple example is spending too much time chatting with friends on social media, which will make you lose focus and waste time. When you don't know what the next task is, you lose control of your life. This can contribute to increased stress and anxiety levels. Decreased work quality. If your clients or boss cannot rely on you to complete tasks in a timely manner, their expectations and perception of you will deteriorate. They will no longer trust you and may even transfer your work to someone else. Inability to plan ahead and stick to goals means poor efficiency. If there are some important tasks to be completed, an effective plan would be to complete related tasks together or sequentially. However, if you don't plan ahead, You might have to go back and forth or backtrack when doing your work. This means reduced efficiency and lower productivity. Asterisk factors causing time waste, asterisk. Being aware of factors causing time waste helps in using time more effectively. Wasteful factors can be objective or subjective. Cluttered workspace, asterisk wastes time searching for documents. Gossipy people around you. Spending too much time with them will affect your plans. Time wasted due to psychological influence of procrastination, asterisk reluctance to say no to people. Not knowing how to refuse others' requests breaks your plans. Wasting time on unnecessary tasks means you don't have enough time for your own work. Poor communication, asterisk not knowing how to tell a story at the right time, not knowing how to get straight to the point, leading to distraction by other information, getting caught up in unnecessary stories. You might think these issues don't consume too much time, but you'd be surprised when you add up all these time figures. Perfectionism, asterisk spending too much time on every small task, doing things over and over, being willing to delay plans. Tips for time management planning, asterisk. Specific, asterisk clearly define what you want to do and the purpose you want to achieve. Measurable, asterisk evaluate your goals and personal abilities to build a plan with clear timelines and content. Achievable, asterisk choose suitable goals and tasks that have a high chance of success, avoiding unrealistic ones. Relevant, asterisk consider if the goals within the overall plan are necessary and feasible. Time-bound, asterisk determine the total time, divide it into smaller plan stages to execute. At the same time, tasks need to be arranged by priority, depending on their necessity. Learn to make decisions. Making decisions is a crucial part of life, but many people struggle to make decisions in one way or another. For example, some indecisive people find it difficult to make timely decisions, even when it comes to trivial matters, such as choosing what to eat for dinner. On the other hand, others rush into decisions too quickly, sometimes leading to poor choices, especially concerning financial investments or relationships. And finally, some people often dare not make decisions, but struggle when faced with life-changing decisions, such as the career path they will pursue. Because making decisions is an important part of life, and we often struggle to make the right ones, learning how to make decisions is very helpful. In this section, you will learn about the process to use for decision-making. You will also see guidelines, tips, and techniques that will help you make better, faster, and easier decisions. This will help you generally, and also if you are struggling with a specific difficult decision right now. The ability to make quick and clear decisions is one of the keys to success. In contrast to decisiveness is procrastination, your biggest time thief. To make quick and accurate decisions, you need to continuously adjust and develop your decisions, honing your skills to make decisions faster and better. You need to eliminate your own hesitation. Every time you make a decision, do you feel like you waste time thinking about it and still get stuck with what you could asterisk have done if you had made the decision faster? Here are tips to help you improve your decision-making skills more effectively and accurately. To make optimal decisions, you should follow these steps as part of your decision-making process. Define the decision. Recognize the need to make a decision and roughly figure out what that decision will lead to. Identify objectives. Asterisk figure out what you are hoping to achieve with the decision and the importance of each objective to you. Gather information. Collect the information you need to make the decision. Identify alternatives. Asterisk outline the options available to you. Evaluate alternatives. Determine the pros and cons of the available options, especially as they relate to your objectives. If necessary, you can move back and forth between these steps and make adjustments as you go. For example, if you find that none of the available options help you achieve your main objectives, you might go back and reevaluate your objectives, then gather more information accordingly. Don't let yourself be easily influenced by others' thoughts or opinions. Only seek advice from a very few trusted friends. It's true that you should ask others for their opinions, but it's also true that only you can make decisions about your own important situations. The opinions of those around you are only for reference. You'll find it easier to make decisions if you don't pay attention to the opinions of others. Or even worse, fear if you pay attention to those opinions and second-guess your own decision. When you need help reviewing your decision from others, find someone or a select few who can help you reevaluate. They must be knowledgeable about what you are striving for. If they have experience or have succeeded in the matter you are asking for advice on, even better. Once you have made a decision, stick with it. Don't change your mind just 5 minutes later. At the same time, remember your decision and remind yourself of the reason you made it. Always remember that decisiveness is crucial for success, and procrastination will steal your time and waste opportunities right in front of you. Build effective habits. Everyone knows that gluttony, the tendency to lash out at others, or smoking to relieve stress are not good. The solution is to eliminate them and replace them with healthy habits. So where should we start? We unconsciously do everything the same way every day without considering the effectiveness or consequences of those habits. In fact, not all habits are good and healthy. For example, we come home from work every day, and by habit, we reach for an alcoholic drink to relax and then get on social media. This certainly has a negative impact on our health. Or while watching TV, we snack on a bag of chips with a Coke instead of eating vegetables and drinking fruit juice. The consequence is declining health. It's very difficult to build good habits. That's especially true if you want to stick with them long-term. Fortunately, there are a few simple strategies you can use to build good habits and eliminate bad ones. Start with a habit so easy you can't say no. The most important part of building a new habit is consistency. It doesn't matter how well you perform on any given day. Persistent effort is what makes the real difference. For that reason, when starting a new habit, make it so easy you can't refuse it. In fact, make starting a new behavior so easy it's almost ridiculous. You want to build an exercise habit. Your goal is to exercise for 1 minute today. You want to start a writing habit. Your goal is to write 3 sentences today. You want to create a healthy eating habit. Your goal is to eat 1 healthy meal this week. It doesn't matter if you start with small habit goals and then increase the intensity after a certain period. You don't need to join a gym, write a book, or completely change your diet from the start. Habits that don't last require certain preparation and motivation for that change. For example, you are writing a book, but you lose inspiration and can't finish it. Create inspiration for yourself during the creative process. You can take breaks between sections, go for a walk, or have a cup of coffee. A truly professional writer needs to adjust and complete their work even when they lose inspiration. This may seem incredibly obvious, but you need to consider it carefully. If you want a different result, you have to do something different from what you are currently doing. What you are doing right now, for example, writing once a week so you don't take 3 weeks to write, doesn't lead to failure. And the writing process doesn't encounter failure. If you're not getting what you want, then what you're doing isn't working. To get what you want, you need to change. What else can you do to get what you want? How can you change your habits to get more of what you want? Change your habits now. Think differently and do differently. Life is a diverse, rich, and colorful world, and each person is an independent individual with different perspectives on life. Therefore, it is difficult to force others to be like you in terms of preferences, habits, or personality. The important thing is for each person to know how to accept and respect the differences of others. To have proper thoughts and behavior, we need to know how to accept differences and strive for a tolerant, generous way of living. That helps you have a harmonious life with everyone and opens up many good opportunities in life. Accepting life as it is means you are gradually moving towards maturity. If you know how to respect others' differences, you will respect each person's individual freedom. You will earn everyone's respect, and life will smile upon you. Respecting differences is not losing yourself, but a necessary cultural behavior for everyone. By respecting differences, you will avoid hurting others due to your shallow prejudices. Everyone has their own way of life. We should not rush to judge others based solely on superficial appearances, as that is not everything that defines a person's true nature. Live your life well, without prejudice, prying, or invading others' privacy. Living with prejudice only worsens our relationships. Everyone has a reason for living, a belief. They live and think in their own way. We need to acknowledge and respect that. We should not impose or force them to change according to our wishes. It is the differences in each person that create a diverse tapestry of life. Therefore, we must know how to harmonize and accept differences. Life always contains good things. To feel that, use a tolerant heart, discard negative thoughts about others, and focus on their good deeds and kindness. Everyone has their own value. Accepting and respecting others' values is also respecting yourself. We don't need to demean anyone to affirm our own worth. If we embrace differences in life, our relationships will expand and become closer. Each person, with their own perspectives and emotional states, adds many colors to life. Think big asterisk when you do big things. It's easier than doing small things. I know it sounds strange, but let me explain. It's not contradictory to the saying, the one who can wear the hat is the one who picks up the small stones. I will explain that now. When you do big things, many people want to help you. So, talented people will be around you, assisting you, and your work becomes easier compared to doing a lot of small things by yourself. If you know that Silicon Valley investors only invest in companies that want to change the world, would you change your mind? Be ready to sacrifice your future for your purpose. You must always be steadfast in your goals, regardless of those who mock you, calling themselves realistic. Remember, a quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. Think differently, asterisk what if someone doesn't think big like you? A marathon champion finished in 1:50. After the race, a woman approached him and said, "You're amazing. You ran a distance that took me over 5 hours to complete in less than 2 hours." The champion pondered the woman's kind words for a moment, then replied, "You're amazing too. I don't think I could run continuously for 5 hours." You see, in life, there are many conflicting views and different ways of thinking. So why should you overemphasize someone who doesn't think like you? Why make this complicated? You don't have enough time to make others think the same way as you, but you do have enough time to share what you've learned with everyone. Knowledge shared is knowledge multiplied. Only when you share your knowledge does it truly become valuable. Trust me, only when you truly act and share will you understand that saying. Think big. Think present, asterisk you find satisfaction on the journey of realizing your dreams, not when you have already achieved them. I know it's another strange thing I'm saying, but life is a journey, not a destination. When you are on the road, it means you still enjoy the sweet flowers and strange grasses along the way. So, pay attention to your pace. Obstacles make your path. If the path you walk has no obstacles, it only means it leads nowhere. Once you reach your destination, almost immediately you have to look for the next journey. If you no longer see any path, the place you should go is the city cemetery. I will continue to say strange things. I believe that if Steve Jobs had not been fired from Apple, Apple would not exist today. Why? Being fired gave Steve Jobs a fresh start. And Steve Jobs' return was the return of a new man in attitude, vision, and life experience to lead Apple to the pinnacle of the world. You see, the greatest enemy in life is complacency. If you cannot defeat yourself, you cannot change the world. Once you have defeated your strongest opponent, which is yourself, what fear do you have of winning or losing against anyone else? If someone wants to do something good for this world, we should not hesitate to help them wholeheartedly. My view of success is that the success of those who have collaborated with me is the measure of my own success. I want to end this section with a story. In the cinema, a friend told me about his dream. It was grand. Now I see it as very feasible, and it's truly wonderful that it genuinely makes the world a better place. But when they heard about his dream, the people watching the movie around them laughed mockingly. I noticed that the situation in the film at that moment was not funny, as if it were a cynical remark. Be a bit more realistic. The truth is, after they stopped laughing, I laughed too. But I laughed at those who mocked others' dreams. They understood nothing, because they believed in something that was completely untrue, that their limits were the accurate measure for all limits. Asterisk 8, challenges help you grow. Everyone has different abilities and circumstances. Therefore, when facing difficulties, each person will handle them differently. Optimistic people see every difficulty as an opportunity. Conversely, those who lack confidence see difficulties as beyond their capabilities. They quickly give up as soon as they start. By hesitating to overcome challenges, many people miss opportunities to change their lives. Don't be discouraged too quickly. You will find that each time you overcome a difficulty, you gain more experience. Hardship and struggle will help us grow. You should know that if you want to succeed, don't be afraid of difficulties. When faced with difficulties, we must be brave to confront them. Only then can we change everything around us. A courageous attitude helps you have a more meaningful life. Be brave to accept and overcome challenges. Once you overcome them, you can look back at what you've done and not let failures be the reason for your downfall. Instead, we can regain faith and courage. Face difficulties bravely, then try to find the problem to solve. Difficulty is not a problem. Only when you cannot find a problem to fix does it become one. Be ready, be confident in your abilities. You will surely easily find ways to solve difficulties. Difficulties make us use all our abilities and give us more motivation to train ourselves. When facing challenges, you should use a positive attitude. Positive thinking creates a positive life for you. Conversely, negative thinking will hinder your progress. If your path is too smooth, you will not have the opportunity to fully develop your abilities. If work is always favorable, you will not be able to learn experience in handling situations. You cannot grow if you do not have other challenges in life. Let me give you an example. Suppose you are the richest person in the world. You own every company in the world. You have no competitors. So, what is your purpose in life? You have done and redone everything possible. Now what? You can't learn anything new. Challenges make you more creative. Challenges force you to tap into your creativity to find ways to overcome them. Some of the best ideas are formed when you are feeling the difficulties ahead. Challenges make you stronger. To build physical strength, you must train so intensely that your limbs ache and your body is weary day after day. Challenges are also such a weariness. When you overcome challenges, you become stronger and braver. Challenges keep you humble. Challenges remind you that you are human, you don't know everything, you can't foresee everything, you can't control everything, you have limitations, you have weaknesses, you make mistakes. Challenges remind you that you are fragile. Successful people always seek opportunities, even in challenging environments. To succeed, you need to realize that success is not the final destination. Failure is not an abyss, it is merely motivation for you to keep moving forward steadily. Persevere until the very last moment, unwavering in the face of all challenges. Always smile and cheerfully embrace the obstacles ahead because they are opportunities for you, for me, and for everyone. Asterisk 9. Persevere in learning, package success. At every stage of life, no matter how many successes or goals you achieve, there will surely be barriers and obstacles in your way. To overcome these challenges and move forward, you need perseverance. When facing obstacles or challenges, it's essential to continuously strive and find ways to keep progressing. This is a crucial skill that can lead to greater success in all areas of life. At school, in the workplace, in personal life, and many other fields. It's easy to give up when things get tough. It's easy to lose hope and think you can't overcome a difficult situation or even finish something. People often don't make an effort to learn something because they fear they won't be able to do it, fearing failure, fearing wasted time. We all have many things to do in life, and our time is limited. Therefore, giving up seems easier than persevering in difficult situations like these. Learn every minute, every second to continuously develop yourself further. You will certainly gain a lot of useful knowledge every day. Self-learning as you grow up, continuously learning new skills provides invaluable benefits to all areas of your life. Self-learning also expands your knowledge base, which in turn increases your connections and social relationships, giving you broader topics for discussion and debate. Birds of a feather flock together, always remember that. Achieve self-confidence. Whether the new knowledge and skills you acquire help you do better at work or confront new challenges, one thing is certain. Your self-confidence will increase. A little extra knowledge will make you feel more confident when discussing related topics. For example, challenging yourself by improving your geographical and historical knowledge may not directly impact your daily life, but it will certainly make you more confident in conversations about these fields. Education level is directly proportional to lifespan. There is scientific research linking education level and lifespan. Basically, the higher your education level, the longer you will live. Remembering and increasing knowledge in any way will have a positive effect on your health, both physically and mentally. People with extensive knowledge and understanding will surely also know how to protect and improve their long-term health. Learning is also a way to enjoy life. Asterisk, as you grow up, you will realize that life is truly short. Besides time for studying and training, you also have to dedicate time to family, relationships, and your own recreational activities. If you like something, you will devote time and effort to explore and master it in the most excellent way. Learning can be fun if you want to have fun. From learning through games and puzzles to personal challenges, the more motivated you are, the better results you will get. Life only has meaning when you study and work hard, constantly striving to perfect yourself and achieve your goals in life. As you work towards your goals and dreams, there will be obstacles and failures. But if you persevere, you will progress and be rewarded in the long run. When students set goals to earn a degree or certificate, they must overcome challenging courses, assignments, and difficult exams. If they want to become the best version of themselves, athletes must continue to train hard even when facing failure or injury in competition. And if your goal is to get promoted at work or start your own business, sometimes you have to work very hard before seeing the first results in the form of increased revenue or recognition from clients and customers. Cultivate knowledge in any way you want. Learn anything you love to fully enjoy this life. Asterisk 10. I decide my capabilities. Your worth is not only reflected in your abilities and strengths, but also in what is important to you in life. And understanding your true self-worth is essential. However, even when we understand our worth, sometimes we are not consistent in living by those values. Have you ever fallen into one of these situations? Someone says or does something that makes you unhappy, and you want to object, but you remain silent, only to feel dissatisfied later. You set goals for yourself but lack the determination to achieve them. You always try to please others to the point of not trusting your own values. Life or career does not always progress the way we want. What you desire often conflicts with what you have to do. In other words, you are confronted by the two words, reality. If you find yourself in the situations above, this guide will help you. First, you need to understand what personal values are and their role. Then you can identify and prioritize your desires, changing them if necessary. Remember that you need to love and cherish yourself, while also focusing on what is important to you. What are personal values? Let's start with a definition of personal values. Personal values are the things that are important to us. They are character traits and habits that motivate and guide our decisions. Perhaps you value honesty. You believe in honesty whenever possible, and you think it's important to speak your true mind. When you don't express what you think, you might feel disappointed in yourself. Or perhaps you value generosity. You are always ready to help others when given the opportunity. You are generous in dedicating your time and resources to worthy causes or to friends and family. These are just two examples of personal values among many others. Everyone has their own personal values, and they can be very different. Some people like competition, while others value cooperation. Some like adventure, others prefer safety. Values are important because you generally feel better if you live true to your values and feel bad if you don't. This applies to both everyday decisions and bigger life choices. If you value adventure, you might feel stifled if you let yourself be pressured by parents or those around you to make safe choices, such as a stable office job or a life confined to home. For you, a career involving travel, starting your own business, or other risky and adventurous opportunities might be more suitable. On the other hand, if you value safety, having the opportunity to travel the world or own a business might make you feel insecure. You tend to desire and crave a more stable existence. Everyone is different, and what makes one person happy can make another anxious or emotionless. Identifying your personal values and then living by them can help you feel more fulfilled and make choices that make you happy. Even if they don't make much sense to others, you will find a way to do it in the following sections. Part 3, the perfect version of yourself, continued. Asterisk 1, always be a good listener. Good communication involves two elements, being good at speaking and knowing how to listen. But many people often forget the second. Listening seems simple, but is not easy for many people. Because of this, they miss out on many meaningful things in life. Why? Here are the reasons why listening is so important. Listening helps you build trust. When you try to listen to someone, they will recognize your interest. They feel that you respect them. This makes them comfortable and more open to sharing with you. If you only half listen, don't focus on them, or glance at your phone, they won't want to waste their time on you. Listening reduces misunderstandings. Misunderstandings are one of the most common impacts of poor communication. When people don't listen to each other, it's easy to mishear something or misunderstand someone's meaning. Often, misunderstandings are not a big deal, but in some cases, they can have major consequences. For example, if someone doesn't listen when you tell them you have a certain food allergy, serving them a dish with that dangerous ingredient could be life-threatening. Listening helps eliminate conflict. Poor listening skills are the root of many conflicts. In addition to creating misunderstandings, not knowing how to listen also discourages those involved in important conversations. People want to feel respected, which is linked to feeling heard. You don't necessarily have to agree, but just making an effort to listen to another perspective will help improve the situation. When people feel a comfortable conversation atmosphere, they will be calmer and not make things tense. Listening improves relationships, love, marriage. By listening to each other, you create a safe space where no one judges anyone. Couples in love or spouses will want to and feel comfortable sharing more with each other to understand, tolerate, and forgive each other more, thereby helping them maintain and develop the strength of their love. Listening improves business relationships. If your career involves a lot of communication, you know how important communication is. Misunderstandings and conflicts can damage projects and give the company a bad reputation. By committing to better listening, you can build strong relationships with colleagues and clients. People will feel respected and want to work with you more. Listening improves your leadership skills. If you want to be a good, trustworthy leader, you should be a good listener. Listening helps you understand your employees better. Employees are also more willing to share ideas with you. This improves the relationship between you and your employees and also works towards common goals, achieving the highest possible business efficiency. So how do you improve your listening skills? Stop talking. You can't listen if you talk too much. Focus on the other person. Actively direct your attention to their words, ideas, and feelings. Understand the other person. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes to deeply understand what they are trying to convey. Use open-ended questions to encourage the other person to talk more. Take notes. Taking notes here doesn't mean we diligently write down everything the other person says. Taking notes here is to grasp the main ideas the speaker wants to convey. Taking notes will help us remember longer and not miss important issues. Respond. Responding means providing feedback on the knowledge and information you have absorbed. Appropriate feedback shows that we are active listeners and understand the issue, and also helps us check our knowledge to ensure the information we received is not distorted. On the other hand, if there's something we don't fully understand, the other person can clarify immediately so we can understand the issue more deeply. Control your emotions. Emotions are a factor that not only influences the effectiveness of listening, but can also affect relationships and the ability to solve problems. Therefore, we need to know how to control our emotions, which means clearly recognizing our emotions in a given situation. Asterisk 2, give more. I'd like to share a story I collected below. Once, a class outing was organized in the suburbs. When they reached a field, the students accidentally saw an old, worn pair of shoes, seemingly belonging to a poor farmer who was about to return home after a tiring day's work. Seeing the old shoes, the mischievous students came up with an idea. They told their teacher, "Teacher, why don't we hide the shoes behind the bush and wait for the farmer? It would be so funny to see his reaction when he can't find them." The teacher thought it was a terrible idea, looked at her giggling students, and said, "Now, children, it's not nice at all to play such a cruel trick on a poor person." She paused for a moment, then smiled and continued, "Children, I have a better idea. Why don't we put a few coins in each shoe, then hide behind the bushes and watch the farmer's reaction when he finds the coins in his worn shoes?" The students were excited to know the poor farmer's reaction, so they immediately followed the teacher's instructions. Then, both the teacher and students hid behind a distant bush, waiting for the farmer to return to his shoes. The farmer, having finished his work, seemed very tired as he walked towards his worn shoes. As he stepped in, he felt something hard under his foot. Bending down to check, he found coins. The farmer was surprised to see the money in his shoe. He took them out and carefully looked around to see if anyone was looking for these coins or if they belonged to anyone. When he saw that the surroundings were completely deserted, with no one in sight, the farmer put the coins into his pocket. Then he put his foot into the other shoe, and just like before, he felt something hard in the shoe again. Bending down to check, he found even more coins. Looking at the money in his hands, the farmer was moved to tears. The emaciated, tired farmer clasped his hands in front of his chest, looked up to the sky, and said, "Oh God, I send 1,000 thanks to the anonymous person who helped me this time. Thanks to their kindness, I can now buy medicine for my sick wife and bread for my hungry children." With the money in his pocket, the farmer returned home, tears still streaming down his face. Watching this scene, the mischievous students seemed to be deeply moved, their eyes welling up with tears. After the farmer left, the teacher asked her students, "Now tell me, what made you happier, hiding the shoes or putting money in them?" A student, with eyes still teary, said emotionally, "Teacher, I will never forget the lesson you taught us today. Now I understand that the happiness of giving is far greater than receiving. The joy of giving has no limits. Thank you, teacher." To live is to give, not just to receive for oneself. In this life, it seems the first thing people think of is doing something to bring themselves joy and satisfaction. Just like the mischievous students in the story above, wanting to hide the poor farmer's worn shoes for a moment of laughter. However, we don't realize that whether intentionally or unintentionally, sometimes purely for our selfish gratification, we laugh at the suffering of others. Therefore, instead of just having a good laugh ourselves or causing trouble for someone, let's learn to give, to help others whenever we can. Because when we give, even if it's just a few small coins, we not only bring joy to others but also bring happiness to ourselves. Just like the joy of the poor farmer and the happy tears of the mischievous students in the story above. Because when you give, you will receive more than that. Good deeds are always rewarded. Conversely, selfishness leads to suffering. Give and receive. Remember that and practice giving. Don't ask for anything. The important thing is that you will receive more than you think. Happiness will come when the giver least expects it. After life's ups and downs and the way people around us behave, one day you will suddenly understand the meaning of the saying, "To give is to receive more." The love you give, you will receive back. The love you give, you will receive 100, 1,000 times over. Giving love will receive love. What you receive will be many times greater. That is good fortune, peace of mind. These are immeasurable values. The love and help we receive are the fruits of the love we have given away. As you sow, so shall you reap. That is the law of karma. Today we give love, tomorrow we will receive love. How beautiful this life would be if people were always sincere in all their actions. Looking at each other with genuine eyes, being less harsh and judgmental. Things from the heart will reach the heart. A greeting not returned, but repeated daily, even a difficult person will eventually smile back. Just being harmonious and looking at everything with gentle eyes, how lovely this life would be. Although we know that sometimes life doesn't go our way, just keep giving. Giving is how you love yourself. You have joined the flow of life, of humanity. Kindness is something the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Therefore, as long as you are sincere, what you receive will not only be joy, a light and honest life. Just give sincerely and you will receive love. Open your heart. Let's share and give good things to receive joy in our souls, happiness in life. Because giving is also an expression of a beautiful way of life, creating the power to sustain life. *3. Always say yes. Here are the reasons why you shouldn't miss the opportunity to say yes. Be ready to embrace miracles. In life, we often receive many opportunities, but many people keep waiting for the right moment and miss out on opportunities before they can seize them. That's a pity because once an opportunity passes, it might not come again. So why not say yes whenever an opportunity arises? Who knows, miracles and unexpected gifts might appear. Expand relationships. Don't always hide in your shell. Go out and say yes to new relationships, new experiences. From there, your relationships will expand, and who knows, they might help you a lot in your future career. No regrets. Have you ever told yourself, if only I had accepted then, if only I had done that then? No one knows what will come every time you say yes. So don't make yourself regret not saying yes. That will only make you more negative. Be happier. Did you know? Scientific studies have shown that every time we embrace new challenges, our brains release a large amount of dopamine. This is a substance that makes us feel happier and more optimistic. Isn't that miraculous? Just say, yes, to have the opportunity to meet new people, experience new challenges, and make life happier. Stimulate the brain. Sounds strange, right? But it's true. Saying yes will help us stimulate the brain because the human brain tends to respond to our experiences. This process is called neural plasticity. Therefore, if you know how to say yes, you will gain many things like intelligence, personality, habits, and attitudes. Inspire others. Saying yes not only brings many benefits to yourself, but also inspires others. When you say yes and do it, you become a pioneer for everyone else to follow. Don't worry, fear what people will think or judge about you through your yes to new experiences. People usually only think about themselves. When attending a meeting for the first time with their boss, employees often worry and dare not speak up, fearing reprimand. But if you are the first to dare to be open and contribute ideas, then others will follow. From there, meetings will be much more relaxed and effective. We are the ones who decide our lives through our decisions. Seize that and don't miss opportunities to regret it. I wish you always success in your work and life. Asterisk 4, learn to say, I don't know. We love to please others and think it's the right thing to do. There are times when we're exhausted, but a colleague invites us for drinks, and we sigh and go because we don't want to refuse. We fear refusing colleagues will make them think we're not social. Our boss assigns many tasks. We casually accept them, even tasks outside our scope, only to feel disappointed in ourselves when the results aren't as expected. Our partner constantly makes demands, eating this, doing that, wearing this or that, and though we don't really like it, we don't dare to refuse for fear they'll think we no longer love them. We can become so accustomed to saying yes and pleasing others that we don't even know what we want or what our needs are. But if your life is too busy with other people's demands, leaving you no time for what's truly important to you, or worse, your mental health is at risk, then it's time to change. Answer these questions. How many cups of coffee have you had with people you didn't want to have coffee with? How many weddings have you attended that you didn't really want to attend? How many hours of boring classes have you endured when there was no real reason to be there? You might ask, what's wrong with saying yes and making people happy? It can be a hard pill to swallow, but consider this. Trying to please everyone can be a form of manipulation. Teacher and author Byron Katie brilliantly summarized it. The biggest mistake is assuming, I can make you love me. We tell ourselves we are just being kind when we accommodate others, but things can suddenly turn sour when our own needs are not met. In his book, The Power of No, entrepreneur and author James Altucher writes, when you say yes to something you don't want to do, here's the result. You hate what you're doing. You resent the person who asked you. You hurt yourself. To start reclaiming your time and mental health by not saying yes, tune into what you truly want. Instead of impulsively saying yes, make it a habit to ask yourself, am I agreeing to this because I want to? Start with the smallest things. For example, when you're offered a drink at the salon or if someone asks you for a tiny favor. Learn to recognize what saying yes and no feels like inside you. Does the thought of saying no to someone directly scare you? If you're put on the spot and asked to help with something you're not capable of, but you can't refuse someone, buy yourself some time. Vanessa Van Edwards, founder of the Science of People Human Behavior Research Lab, suggests asking people to text or email you their requests so you can get back to them. It's perfectly reasonable to say you need to check your schedule before replying. This allows you to check what you really want and find the right words or courage to decline. If you're still struggling to say no, remember billionaire entrepreneur Warren Buffett's famous quote, "The most successful people say no to almost everything." Saying no allows you to say yes to what's important to you. It allows you to become a better person because when you say yes, it comes from a good reason, not from resentment or fear. It creates space for what matters most to you instead of drowning in busyness like most of us. And consider this, if you don't say yes, what else can you say yes to? More self-care, better mental health, more time with your children, doing work you enjoy. That being said, to acquire the skill of refusing without offending others, without damaging relationships, and without both parties feeling awkward. Be as gentle as possible with these phrases. I'm too busy right now. How about tonight, tomorrow, or the day after? Show them you genuinely want to help but don't have time. If the request is urgent, they won't ask you again. This communication approach is quite effective. Oh, I'd love to, that sounds great. But unfortunately, I have family matters, a meeting, a gathering then. Let me check. I'm already booked at that time, I probably can't make it. This is a polite way to decline invitations for outings, meetings, or drinks with friends. Sorry, I have another important task I'm working on, I can't help you. A basic refusal for someone with a less close relationship. Let me think about it, I'll text you tomorrow night. This phrase is used when you might accept or might not. I'm not good at this, maybe ask John Jane. Suggest another person who might be able to help them. That's a good idea, but I'm having a stomachache headache, so I can't participate. Using health as an excuse is a bit of an old trick, but if you're stuck, it can still be used effectively in many situations to refuse. Do you really need it? Maybe ask someone else in the class. I just went on a spree and ran out of money. A way to decline when someone asks for money. I think idea ABC is great. However, I think we should reconsider this issue. Does anyone else have a better suggestion? This doesn't seem quite suitable. Some phrases for refusing or disagreeing in teamwork. Part of the reason some people struggle to say no is that they don't feel their own desires and needs are as important as those of others. To avoid feeling guilty when saying no, try to build your self-worth. Some strategies you can try include writing a list of your strengths, using positive self-talk to encourage yourself, exploring your hobbies and making time for yourself, avoiding comparing yourself to others, setting realistic goals for yourself. Refusal is a very necessary skill in life and work. Knowing how to decline an offer will prevent you from wasting time on unnecessary tasks and allow you to focus more on your specialized work. Or, more simply, it means not having to do things you don't like. You should regularly practice your skill of saying no and politely refusing. I hope you can both say no and maintain respect from the other person, as well as sustain good relationships. *5 Morality, set it aside. It must be said that from childhood, we have been guided towards a single goal. Each of us must work hard to get a degree, a house, material wealth, a happy marriage, and children to continue the family line. It's very difficult to imagine anything different, and if we consider everyone to be the same, we will face many problems: fear of the unknown, the risk of making mistakes, financial instability. All these reasons often make us give up. Moreover, society itself is accustomed to this safe path. Acting differently often leads to failure, misunderstanding, or disapproval. An invisible pressure forces us to be like everyone else to be understood and accepted. In short, differences are not always appreciated, and stability is always praised endlessly. But do you know, successful people come from all walks of life, but they all have one thing in common. Where others see insurmountable obstacles, they see opportunities. Obstacles do not block the path, they are the path. In a study conducted at Adobe, 96% of employees identified creativity as essential to their success, both in terms of income and the value they bring to the world. Furthermore, 78% wished they could think differently, believing they would advance faster in their careers if they did so. We often assume that creative and divergent thinking is due to innate, natural characteristics, belonging only to the lucky ones. The truth is, you can study how successful people think differently and apply those approaches to your own path. So, do you want to make a difference or live the way others expect? It's entirely up to you. Remember that very few of us truly dare to rebel to break the conventional values of life. We can only think and do things differently from the norm to bring a fresh breath, a clean breeze, and a unique difference to our lives. So, think and live differently to create exciting things. Think differently if you want to get more out of every moment of life. Think differently if you want to achieve your goals and find success. Think differently if you want to know how to overcome obstacles and head straight for the best things life can offer you. Turn your thoughts into actions. The road to success has many difficulties, but be brave and confident, and you will win. Happiness will come to those who dare to think, dare to do, so never be afraid to make mistakes. Morality, stereotypes, put them aside. simply like a child, still knowing life is full of difficulties and challenges, even many that make us fail, stumble, and want to give up, still knowing that the older we get, the heavier our shoulders become. But everyone will grow up. Let's just wish we were a child to feel lighthearted, to feel at peace. Let's just live simply like a child to be carefree. When young, perhaps everyone wants to grow up, because growing up means freedom to go out to eat what you like. Because growing up means freedom to do what you like. But growing up also means greater responsibility, more work, more worries and anxieties. At that time, we all know that even though we may be free to go out, free to do what we want, it can often be much more challenging. So, we just wish we were small to be carefree. Carefree to eat a packet of instant noodles without worrying about not having the energy to work tomorrow. Carefree to sleep soundly without fearing a phone call urging us in the middle of the night. Carefree to tell mom about our mistakes without fearing a scolding. Happy, we'll laugh, sad, we'll cry, not afraid to open our hearts. Being a child is secretly more wonderful than being an adult. Perhaps so, because if you were a child, if you hated something, you'd say you hated it. If you liked something, you'd say you liked it, without having to lie to yourself or anyone else. As a child, when you fell and got hurt, when you encountered a difficult math problem, or when you were teased by friends, you could always tell your mother and get help. Mom would rub your legs, help you with your homework, or play with you to ease the sadness. But as adults, try to count how many times you've been sad or stumbled and had the courage to call your mother to confide, to dream. Our childhood was beautiful because we had so many dreams. Girls dreamed of being princesses or dolls. Boys couldn't help but wish to be superheroes or heroes. As children, we just dreamed, not caring if anyone laughed, not caring if we could achieve it, not caring if the dream was realistic or illusory. Just dream, just wish, and just revel happily in those dreams. Sometimes I still wish I had a ticket back to childhood because being a child is so wonderful. Every night before bed, I still sleep soundly, free to dream beautiful dreams, to dream a dream where I can return to childhood. But after sleep, the sun still rises, everyone still works, we cannot go back. But even so, let's try to keep moving forward. Let's bravely move forward to be tougher and stronger. When tired, just cry. When happy, just laugh. You don't have to be a child to open your heart carefree. *7. Persuade anyone. High persuasive ability will give you an advantage in business and personal relationships. Whether you want to convince a client to buy a high-value item or ask your parents to let you stay out late on the weekend, learning how to build strong arguments, present your reasoning, and understand your audience will help you succeed. Here are ways to help you persuade anyone. Be confident. The first step is to maintain and display confidence throughout the persuasion process. The more confident you are, the more convincing your argument will be, and the stronger you will appear. Just be careful not to be overly boastful, as you risk alienating people with arrogance. Ensure logical arguments. People are easily convinced by logic. For example, you are convincing a colleague to take on one of the more difficult parts of a task you are working on together. Initially, your colleague might object, but you can use logical reasoning to explain that he or she is better equipped to handle that part. This means the task will be completed faster and more efficiently, satisfying both of you and benefiting the company. Make your request seem valuable to the other party. One of the more effective ways to persuade is to make your request appear valuable to the other party. Doing so can be difficult, but in appropriate cases, it can be a perfect fit. For example, you're trying to convince a friend to help you move. Clearly, there's a lot of work involved in moving, and your friend might be unwilling to help. Instead of talking about all the furniture you need to move, talk about how happy you'll be reviewing old memorabilia or giving away old items to those in need. Or you'll buy pizza for everyone after the job is done. Be patient. You won't always be able to persuade your target to give you what you want on the first try. If you don't succeed, don't beg or argue. Instead, let the situation pass, reflect, and try again later. Your persuasive messages will linger in their subconscious, and the next time you present your argument, you'll have a chance to be more reasonable and convincing. Don't give up on your goal. Allow ample time between attempts. Remember that persuasion is a skill that can be honed and improved over time. You won't succeed the first time you apply these tactics in practice, most likely. But the more frequently you use them, the more proficient and natural you will become at executing them. Asterisk 8. Leave the past behind, live a valuable life. Each of us has experienced unforgettable moments, indelible memories. These can be past joys or sorrows. Wounds are difficult for us to forget quickly. Even a small wound can reawaken profound pain. But if we continuously regret the past, allowing ourselves to be dominated and affected in the present and future, then it's not worth it. We cannot change the past. Therefore, if we keep grieving over past events, we will miss many new opportunities that await us. In the past, no matter how many failures we faced, how much sorrow we endured, we must not let those failures make us think we cannot succeed. We must not let sorrow extinguish all desires for happiness. We must learn to forget the past. That is the wisest choice and guides us towards good things in the future. We are the masters of our own lives. Therefore, what happens in the past or future depends on us. If we continue to dwell in the past, we will lose faith in life and destroy our own future. Do not, because of a small mistake in the past, live carelessly, passively, and become a burden on society. Time passes and never returns. We cannot change what has happened, but what is in the present or future we can change. Cherish the past. Use it as a lesson to help yourself grow and mature. Surely, our lives in the present and future will be brighter. Bravely face reality, be steadfast in change and the future, and you will easily forget the joys and sorrows of yesterday. With a strong will, you will find your soul more at peace, unbound by past troubles. Live optimistically, and you will see opportunities in every difficulty. Everything you wish for can become a reality. Then you will be more respected and loved by everyone for your perseverance and will to rise, knowing how to master your future. The future is built by today's efforts. The door to success will open wide for those who know how to live a purposeful, valuable life. Don't miss opportunities. Don't waste time doing things that don't belong to the present. Living fully for today is knowing how to grasp your wonderful life. I offer you a small story. Two friends went up a mountain together to find beautiful stones. A's basket was full of stones, while B's basket had only one. A scoffed, "Why did you only pick one stone like that?" B replied, "Although there are many beautiful stones, I only chose the most exquisite one, and that's enough." A laughed and said nothing, and then they both went down the mountain. The further they went, the more exhausted A felt. Every so often, he had to discard a stone from his basket. Finally, when they reached the foot of the mountain, A's basket contained only one single stone. Achieve proactivity in life. Whether in life or at work, proactivity is always highly valued. It helps people learn more, always proactively grasp situations, and anticipate potential risks. Proactivity brings us more opportunities, and especially in a competitive business environment, an employee who is always proactive in learning and working is highly regarded by their boss, and thus their opportunities for advancement become clearer and broader. The path to success grows closer. All the changes happening in the world force you to change your life. If you don't change, it will be detrimental to you. Change is the biggest truth of life. Time changes every second. You should also be ready for a change in your life. You should be proactive and positive in creating changes in your life. Should you become a proactive person at work? If you have often pondered this question, the answer is definitely yes. If you don't want to be left behind, isolated, and fall behind, you must change yourself, become proactive in any situation, anywhere. This will make you highly regarded and well-liked by those around you. And nowadays, proactivity is seen as a competency and is evaluated as a necessary competency for every employee in a work environment. So why are proactive people so highly valued and respected? High productivity and work quality. Proactive people always know how to arrange their time and tasks logically. They know how to utilize free time to learn and cultivate new things, applying them to their work. As a result, time is used effectively, and work quality is also enhanced. Responsibility in the company environment. A sense of responsibility is always a very necessary factor in a company, and proactive people at work always embody that. Instead of just blaming others and circumstances, they know how to assess the situation and look at themselves first. They become responsible for themselves and for the tasks they undertake. This is a crucial factor in resolving all problems quickly, especially in a teamwork environment. Dedication to the company. There will be no buck passing or reliance if everyone proactively does their part and helps those around them. Proactive individuals always know how to use time effectively and create new values for the company. They constantly strive to improve themselves and demonstrate their abilities, contributing to the company's benefits. Reduced work pressure. For any business or work environment, every employee is encouraged to be creative, proactive, and express themselves. Companies fear situations where employees come to work, sit idly waiting for their salary, or only work when deadlines are due, relying on reward and punishment systems to push employees. Therefore, proactive individuals at work are always well liked by bosses because they not only create real value, but also because their proactivity makes them work with a better spirit, reducing fatigue and stress. Accurate assessment of employee capabilities. The situation of doing just enough, or doing to get it over with, is very common in companies today. It makes it difficult for individuals to fully develop their capabilities. Proactivity at work, constant effort and striving, will help you recognize and develop your abilities. Moreover, it also helps leaders accurately assess your capabilities to provide appropriate salaries, bonuses, and promotion opportunities. If you are struggling to achieve your life goals, then be sure to follow some of the advice below. You will certainly achieve success. Change your work habits. If you're struggling to achieve your goals, this is definitely a sign to make some changes in your life. Many times, you are working according to a habit that hinders the completion of your goals. In such a situation, even a small change can benefit us. You need to know which time is good for which task. Perhaps you are doing morning work at night or night work in the morning. In this case, you can achieve better results by making a slight adjustment to your work routine. Upgrade skills. What often happens is that you start to compromise on many things, and later it becomes your habit. Life is a learning process. From the day you stop learning, you stop moving forward. If you feel that you need to hone your skills, or if you feel that you need to learn some new skills, you can be proactive. This will help you achieve your goals. In addition, you will also be able to receive new opportunities. Help others. Helping others is considered the best virtue in the world. If you help someone, someone will definitely help you tomorrow. You can never know how many people can benefit from helping, so keep helping. How to cultivate proactivity, asterisk. Always be curious about everything around you and ask questions about them. Proactively seek to understand and answer those questions. Observe more and learn to create schedules and specific plans to establish disciplines for yourself, such as waking up early, exercising daily, and eating healthily. Be confident in your abilities and express yourself. Conscientiously complete your work, even the smallest tasks. Learn to offer help to others when they need it and when it is within your capabilities. Proactivity is always highly valued, and a proactive person is always respected, regardless of the circumstances. Therefore, train yourself, continuously learn and grow every day to become a positive, proactive person in both work and life. Let proactivity become an indispensable part of your capabilities at work and develop it. Because with proactivity, you will have many opportunities and knowledge to develop yourself, master your life, and move closer to the goal of success. Asterisk 10. Understand yourself and those around you. People have always believed that to achieve success, you need talent, willpower, effort, and luck. However, a common characteristic of all successful people is self-understanding. How well do you truly understand yourself? Sometimes you might find yourself doing things even though you're not sure why. Our subconscious controls a large amount of our behavior, and thus the reasons behind many decisions we make in life can be hidden in mystery. However, if you know how to identify them, you can gain a better understanding of yourself. Why you make certain decisions, what makes you happy, and how you can change for the better. Meditation. Gaze deep into the mind. You should start thinking about meditating every day. This is a time of calm to make your spirit gentle and peaceful. Initially, you might find it very difficult to eliminate the mixed thoughts swirling in your head. Don't worry, categorize the good and bad thoughts arising from within you. Then gradually eliminate the bad thoughts, and you will quickly be able to focus during meditation. When your mind is at peace, you will cleanse yourself of life's pressures and stresses and become more attentive, understanding yourself better. Naturally, success will also come to you spontaneously, without force. This is a time of quiet reflection to make your spirit gentle and peaceful. Meditation also equips you with the necessary thinking skills before acting and helps you make practical, sound decisions. You don't want to continue working at this company. You want to find a better environment or start a business. Stop thinking and start meditating. This period of quiet reflection will help you understand what is going on in your mind and help you clearly define the path you need to take, instead of just giving in to unpleasant emotions and reacting mechanically to unfavorable situations in the present. Practicing meditation is one of the most effective ways to connect the body and mind. It helps you improve work productivity, boost mental health, eliminate feelings of insecurity, and relax your mind. Remember that the mind, like a seedling, needs to be nurtured. If nurtured well, it will yield sweet fruits. If not cared for, it will become barren and withered. Don't forget to talk to yourself. Tim Ferriss, author of The 4-Hour Workweek, interviewed over 200 successful entrepreneurs worldwide, including billionaire Peter Thiel, PayPal co-founder, speaker Tony Robbins, and Hollywood actors like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Foxx. Tim found that at least 80% of them had a daily habit of talking to themselves. They also admitted it was an effective way to eliminate distractions and focus on their own thoughts. When we readjust our thinking, listening to the voice deep within our hearts, even for just a few minutes each day, you will feel a difference in how you think and act. You will not only understand yourself better, but also grasp intuition sharply, always maintaining high concentration. You will never have time for yourself if you continue to let rambling thoughts run wild in your head. Maintaining focus is key to solving all problems quickly and efficiently, the source of a prosperous career. At the same time, when you concentrate intensely, you will not be controlled by distractions. At this point, you can truly realize what your own thoughts are without confusing them with scattered, aimless notions. You don't believe it. If you learn to focus on even the smallest tasks, you will achieve great successes that even you yourself will be surprised by. Respect your own emotions. Emotions are a crucial factor reflecting an individual's level of self-understanding. When you are honest with your personal emotions, you will easily understand your inner self and know how to control emotions appropriately in various circumstances. Learning to trust your emotions will help you succeed more in all areas of life, alongside self-discipline and patience. Once you understand yourself better than anyone, you will also become more aware of how others treat you. At this point, you will realize your own importance and value. What can you do to make a difference? As Steve Jobs once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Listen to what you desire." Evaluate your strengths and weaknesses. You can gain a better understanding of who you are and what is most important to you by thinking about your strengths and weaknesses. It's important to compare your perception of your strengths and weaknesses with those identified by your friends, family, and colleagues. What they see that you don't can tell you a lot about yourself and how you perceive yourself. Strengths asterisk include determination, dedication, self-discipline, thoughtfulness, decisiveness, patience, diplomacy, communication skills, imagination, creativity. Weaknesses asterisk include closed-mindedness, self-centeredness, difficulty perceiving reality, judging others, and control issues. See how you've changed. Look back at your past and think about how what has happened to you throughout your life has influenced how you act and think today. Examining how you've changed as a person can reveal a lot about why you act the way you do, because our current behaviors are built upon past experiences. For example, perhaps you tend to be very defensive against thieves and very harsh with people you consider to be stealing. When you think about it, you might remember being stolen from in a store as a child and your parents punishing you severely. This explains your stronger than normal reaction to that behavior. At this moment, the words in the book, Open Mindset, are truly profound and inspiring. Every word is like a reminder of how to live positively, proactively, and continuously learn. The perspectives on finding happiness in every moment and maintaining balance in life truly make me think a lot. And now, let's continue listening. Part 4, Everything Within Reach. Asterisk 1. Learn from others' mistakes. You can't live long enough to make all the mistakes yourself. Therefore, learn from the mistakes of others. The knowledge you gain from books, textbooks, and classrooms is very limited and incomplete. On the path of life, the deepest lessons you learn are from life itself. Life is a strict teacher, but its teaching method is for you to make mistakes first, and only then can you learn from them. To be able to learn lessons, we must frankly admit our mistakes. Mistakes themselves are not scary. What's scary is a useless mistake. After making a mistake, if we don't analyze the cause of the failure to avoid repeating it, we fall into that category. A lesson from a mistake is more valuable than an experience of success. But is it absolutely necessary to stumble to gain a painful lesson? Not being afraid of failure is one of the essential qualities of an entrepreneur. However, wouldn't it be better if you could avoid stumbling, avoid making mistakes, avoid failing yourself, and still gain valuable lessons? Reality shows that the more we fail, the more we lose. Loss of money, time, effort, and spirit. The more we fail, the further away our dream of wealth becomes. The more we fail, the more we fall behind on the competitive path to happiness. I also know people who, after failing, could never recover. Some have categorized people into 3 types based on their ability to learn from mistakes. I would like to present them in this article so you can reflect on yourself and life. Type 1, asterisk people who do not learn from their mistakes, always making the same ones. They cannot advance in life. Type 2, asterisk people who can learn from their own mistakes and do not repeat them, but fail to recognize underlying patterns, so they always make different mistakes. They do not analyze the root causes of problems. However, they can still be considered intelligent. Type 3, asterisk people who do not make their own mistakes, nor those that others have made. Others' experiences are their own experiences. Only these people know how to maximize the lessons from failure. In reality, sometimes we still do things we consider mistakes. For example, a person knows that smoking is harmful to their own health and the community, but cannot quit. Or someone knows they are lost but, due to pride, does not ask for directions, wandering around until late at night and still not finding their way home. To learn from mistakes, we must frankly admit our own errors. Daring to admit mistakes is also a method for self-improvement. Here are some methods for us to learn from mistakes. Frankly admit your mistakes, don't blame others. Analyze the root cause of the mistake. This requires serious and meticulous effort. Plan methods to fix the mistake and prevent similar risks from occurring. Don't regret the past or what has happened, but turn them into motivation for future success. Successful people don't always make the right decisions. Even the acquisition of Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett considers a big mistake of his own. However, the important thing is that we must turn it into a valuable learning experience for ourselves. This is still not enough. Observe and learn from those who came before you. You will avoid the mistakes they once made. There's no need to touch electricity to know how harmful an electric shock is. There's no need to cut your own hand to know the pain of bleeding. Cultivate knowledge and learn ceaselessly. Asterisk 2, don't get angry when you're wrong. Remember that you cannot control everything that happens in your life, but you can control the meaning you assign to those events. You are responsible for your emotions and how you react to them. So how do you practice emotional control? How do you let go of expectations as a means to control your reactions? This is the formula for the complex cycle of meaning, emotion, life. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, we always feel a hidden abundance of frustration, resentment, and anger, which often leads to behaviors that hurt others and ourselves. Because impulsive behaviors, inability to concentrate, resistance to immediate urges, acceptance, anger, and instability in communication have a huge impact on income and social status. Here are some effective ways to control emotions, avoiding negative thinking. Avoid negative thinking. If you think pessimistically, negative emotions will follow, which over time will increase stress and despair within you. Therefore, you should acknowledge reality, focus on resolving the issue, and think positively. What did I do wrong? How do I need to change? This isn't as terrible as I thought. I can do better. When you look at the positive aspects, you will feel better. Focus on the problem to solve rather than arguing. No one is perfect, and everyone can make mistakes. Even if you get angry and scold others for their mistakes, neither you nor they will solve the problem. It's better to avoid complaining and blaming others and prioritize finding a solution together to limit the potential consequences of the problem. Asterisk don't hold grudges or ill will. Asterisk carrying grudges or ill will towards someone not only consumes energy and time, but also contaminates your thoughts, even pushing you to the lowest level of negative emotions. Let everything pass. Forgive, forget the past, and escape the abyss of hatred, thinking only of a happy future awaiting you. Don't send emails in anger. When angry, you will certainly write things that are not very good and can hurt others, even ruin your career. Therefore, let your mood calm down and then deal with work later. Write down good things. Instead of getting angry with someone, calm down, try to find a quiet space to compose yourself and write down the good things that person has done for you. Find reasons why you are grateful to that person. Objectively evaluating mistakes is a fair way to treat them and ourselves. Learn to deal with difficulties. If you know in advance that you will face many difficulties and challenges in the near future, instead of running away, find ways to confront them. And practice debating so that when you are in a real situation, you can control your emotions. Stay calm in all situations. Losing your temper can lead you to argue, quarrel, or even fight with others. Therefore, when facing challenges or difficulties, think about how to solve them. You need to be alert to view the problem comprehensively and fully. Don't just look at the problem from one perspective, as that will only make you see mistakes in others and not recognize your own limitations. Learn to reevaluate. Sometimes you will feel truly angry. Look back at the reason for your anger. Think about what consequences that anger could cause. This will help you reduce your anger and avoid unpleasant actions. Learn to release emotions. Suppressing too many emotions will affect your health. Release your anger before confronting it so it doesn't have a chance to flare up stronger. So, find ways to control your emotions. Regularly share your feelings with people you truly trust. That could be a best friend, family, or your mother. Exercise regularly. Exercise increases physical strength and helps the brain concentrate, helping you control your anger. It also reduces the risk of excessive actions, words, and gestures. If you're prone to tears or easily express emotions, think of humorous stories. Think of happy moments you've experienced, drink something very cold. It will help you control your emotions better. Meditate. Stress and anxiety are causes of anger. Meditation can help you reduce these to the maximum extent. Asterisk journaling. If you don't truly trust anyone, make a habit of journaling. Journaling is a quite healthy way to control your emotions. This is a great place to release both ideas and negative emotions without hurting anyone. You can learn to write down your emotions in your mind and read them, meaning to dialogue with them. That is listening to your inner voice to recognize and understand your emotions. When you start to master your emotions, it's important to understand that they are your emotions. They belong to you. By letting your emotions run the show and assigning negative meaning to them, you can damage your relationships and your life. When you step back and react emotionally to circumstances, you allow the world to happen to you instead of asterisk for asterisk you. So what can you do to regain emotional control or prevent yourself from losing it? Change the meaning, and you change the emotion. The reverse is also true. Change the emotion, and you will see the meaning change. Changing the meaning will certainly change your life. Asterisk 3. Always compliment others. Successful people know how to use smiles and sincere compliments to encourage and affirm the value of others, and rarely utter disheartening words. Knowing how to compliment and harnessing the power of well-timed and genuine praise is the most subtle way to show respect for others. One kind word warms 3 winters, cruel words chill for 6 months. How great is the power of a single word? I'd like to share a short story with you. An old man, retired, found joy in tending his garden. He cared for each flower and loved them dearly. One day, a group of children ran into his garden, played, and damaged it. Deeply upset, he decided to build a fence to protect his flowers. But the children still fearlessly broke into his fenced garden to play. He chased them away, feeling frustrated. His wife knew about it and suggested a method. The next day, the children still ran into his garden to play and continued to damage his flowers. He discovered them and caught the ringleader, Simon. but instead of scolding him, he said, "Simon, don't worry, I won't do anything to you." Simon asked, "How do you know my name, sir?" The old man replied, "Not only that, I also know you are the kindest boy in this neighborhood. Everyone praises you." Simon asked in surprise, "Me?" The old man answered, "That's right, I need someone to protect this garden. I appoint you as the captain of the garden protection team. Would you like that?" Simon thoughtfully asked, "Captain, why do you trust me with it?" The old man smiled and said, "Because you are a strong, smart, and brave boy. You are also the leader of the children in this neighborhood, aren't you? Later, I will remove the fence. I believe you will be an excellent captain, always fulfilling your duty." Simon asked, "Really?" "To not let you down, I promise to complete the task." True to his word, Simon informed his friends about his new role as captain of the garden protection team. He also began to advise his friends to be mindful when playing in the garden and seriously carry out his duties. From then on, the old man no longer had to worry about his garden being damaged by the neighborhood children or others. The old man's bold decision to let Simon help him in the garden shows us the power of praise. Sometimes, scolding, punishment, or anger cannot achieve anything. Only words of praise and encouragement that offer the other person a way out to correct their mistakes are truly effective. Almost everyone likes to receive a special compliment, and everyone feels friendly towards the person who gives praise. However, you must observe 3 rules. Rule 1: speak only to the recipient. If you are standing with a group of women and you compliment one woman on her well-proportioned figure, the other women will feel like they are fat. At the same time, you make the recipient of the compliment feel uncomfortable. Rule 2: make people believe your special compliment. For example, I am not musically inclined. If someone told me they liked my singing, I would know it was insincere nonsense. Rule 3: give only one special compliment to one person within a 6-month period. Otherwise, you will be seen as insincere, flattering, or sycophantic. Besides knowing how to give compliments at the right time and sincerely, you should also remember how to receive and respond to compliments when others praise you. When someone brings you joy with a compliment, let that joy return to them. Let them see your appreciation and find a way to compliment them back for giving you a compliment. The interaction of subtle and sincere compliments helps us feel more confident and closer to each other. I hope we all change our perceptions and attitudes towards compliments. Asterisk 4: be humble about your own knowledge. Humility is a good quality that helps you be loved by everyone and continuously improve. Part of humility is also recognizing your flaws and weaknesses. It helps you become aware of what skills and qualities you lack in life. Humility will improve your happiness index and make you feel at peace with yourself. Here are some ways to improve and cultivate your humility. Just be yourself. There's no need to compare yourself to others and feel bad if you're a little less than anyone else. Humility means appreciating who you are, accepting all your flaws and weaknesses. Admit your mistakes. You need to accept the fact that you cannot be good at everything, even if you try your best. It's good to praise the achievements of others and accept the fact that there will always be people better than you. Never deflect or blame others because that will turn you into an arrogant person. Understand your shortcomings and eliminate them. You should know your weaknesses and try to eliminate them. Stop competing with others because you are not here to prove anything to others, but to yourself. You need to find ways to eliminate weaknesses and flaws to make yourself better. Practice gratitude. Always be grateful for what you have achieved in life. Express gratitude to your parents, spouse, friends, and well-wishers who have helped you successfully achieve your life goals. Be grateful for all the small things you have in your life that others may not. Gratitude teaches you humility. Avoid showing off. Another way to become more humble is to keep silent about your achievements until asked. Don't boast about your accomplishments and let everyone know that you are better than them. Try to be open-minded and considerate. Embrace all opinions of others, put yourself in their shoes. This will make you a good listener, and you will be respected, loved, and praised by everyone. Praise others. Learn to appreciate and praise others for their achievements. This way, you will realize that there are many other people who are on par with you or better than you. Humble people don't boast and never talk about what they've done. Instead, they try to focus on how others have contributed to their achievements. So, If you want to become more humble, just praise all the people who have helped you, who have played a part in the success you hold in your hands. Learn to accept feedback. Humble people are always open to receiving feedback, whether good or bad. They like to receive feedback and improve themselves as individuals. In this way, they make their lives happier. If you want to become humble, practice accepting all types of feedback and never be discouraged. Remember that their feedback is very important for your personal growth and development. Seek help from others when you need it. Humble people always seek input from others when necessary. They are always open to receiving advice from others so they can use that advice to solve various problems in life. Asterisk 5. Rejoice in the success of others. Your best friend just achieved something amazing in their career, a promotion, a big business deal for their company, or a new job worthy of their talent. Regardless of the specific achievement, you might easily find yourself left with a mixed bag of emotions. At this moment, you're happy that your friend has done something wonderful. However, it would be utterly dishonest to say you feel no envy at all over that achievement. This is the reality that plays out daily in competitive professional relationships. So expressing enthusiasm and joy when someone achieves something great is not as natural an act as people might think. Here are some simple ways to overcome selfish, uncomfortable feelings and genuinely feel happy for your more successful friends. Their success does not equal your failure. This is a question I always ask myself when I feel envious of others' success. How will their success affect me? In almost every case, this question forces me to realize that the negative feelings within me are completely unfounded and unnecessary, that the achievement of others does not affect what I am doing in my daily life at all. It's easy to confuse others' success with your own failure, but it almost never happens that the two are one. You should remember that a step forward in someone else's career does not automatically lead to a step backward for yourself. Once you understand that others' success does not come from their efforts to push you down, it will be much easier to feel happy for their achievements. Renew your goals. While comparing and envying each other's careers can be an uncomfortable trap, we cannot deny that it also serves as a motivator, reminding you to focus more intently and continue striving forward every day. For that reason, this is an excellent time to look back at your own career and clarify what you want to achieve next. Whether it's just a few small things, like changing your work attire, or a significant milestone, like completely shifting your career direction. Calmly give yourself time to write down everything you want to achieve in the next 6 months or more. But don't stop there. Think about some specific actions you need to take to turn those intended goals into reality. It might sound strange to use others' success as a positive stepping stone for your own career advancements. Almost all of us hate to admit the truth that in life, we always tend to compete with those around us to assert ourselves. Therefore, there's no more effective motivation than relying on others' success to fight for our own goals. Additionally, when you know and understand that you also have plans and goals in your own career, you will feel less self-pity and envy when celebrating others' achievements. When we are too focused on competing with each other, we easily forget the value of cooperation. If you don't make an effort to note down the experiences from your friends' achievements, you are wasting time and missing out on great opportunities. Instead of showing discomfort and opposing someone's success, why not learn from it? For example, if your close friend just won a young entrepreneur competition, instead of feeling bitter and resentful about the fact that you also want to be an entrepreneur, why don't you ask them about their journey from scratch to achieve that success today? From there, draw lessons to do better with your own plans. Experience is a great teacher, and that also holds true for the experience you learn from others. So, don't miss the opportunity to affirm your self-worth and learn from previous examples. While we all think of ourselves as good friends, always encouraging and supporting when those around us achieve great things, the reality is not always so perfect. You also know very well that the feeling of happiness for others can quickly be overshadowed and replaced by envy and anger. However, you can absolutely change that. Use the advice above to compliment and welcome the success of others. When you do that, you will not only be a good friend, but also a skilled professional in career advancement. Asterisk 6. Enjoy the world around you. The miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on the green earth, to deeply enjoy every moment in the present, and to truly feel that I am alive. Thich Nhat Hanh. The more bad days I go through, the more I learn to appreciate the little things. Now, a bird flying by, the sound of laughter, friends looking at each other and smiling, and a clump of yellow daffodils blooming are enough to warm my heart and make my day feel lighter and more pleasant. Part of me wishes I could be that bird, free to gaze at the world or laugh with friends, but that moment isn't for me. It's a privilege to see it and enjoy it. Especially in this world full of glaring screens and cloudy minds and hearts, my difficult days remind me to focus on the good things. This is almost not as easy as it sounds and requires presence. For me, presence means fully enjoying the moment. It means not stressing about what I have to do that day, next week, or in a year. The things that always make me anxious, and to live in that moment to see the beauty in it. Turn off your phone. When eating, sometimes you feel like you're not eating or eating alone because your hand is constantly scrolling on your beloved phone or your companion is doing the same. As a result, you haven't fully enjoyed the meal, and time spent with your loved one just drifts away meaninglessly. Pro tip: turn off your phone, especially on special occasions, such as a date. Otherwise, you might lose your partner without even realizing it. Observe the world. There's a lot you can learn by sitting on a park bench and watching everything pass by. Watch children play, birds fly, bees pollinate, and people live their lives. Look for something that lifts your spirit, warms your heart, and inspires action within you. Focus on your breath. A quick tip for meditation and presence is to focus on your breath. Some people count 1, 2, 3, 4 in and out. Some simply remind themselves in and out. Some create mantras like breathe in peace and breathe out joy, or breathe in I am and breathe out tranquility. Find and practice what works for you. Do one thing at a time. You have a lot on your plate, but you'll never finish it if you try to tackle everything at once. Choose your most urgent task, complete it, check it off, and choose another. Take each moment slowly and focus. Take a moment and just listen. Listen to the music of the world around you. The rustling of trees, the chirping of birds, laughter, rain, traffic, etc. Experience the world with your ears and remember that beauty is not always visible. Beauty comes in many shapes, sizes, sounds, and experiences. Journaling. Journaling is a great way to connect with yourself and truly get in touch with your emotions, thoughts, dreams, and challenges. They will make you feel more comfortable than ever. *7. Set the tone for everything. To learn how to achieve goals and set a definite roadmap, create a grand action plan that not only details your outcomes and sequence of activities, but also connects your purpose to your goals. When you align your emotions with achieving your goals, you activate your brain's ability to focus on what means the most to you. People are not naturally experts at setting and achieving goals. Those who succeed in life achieve their goals by harnessing the power of their brains and focusing on what they want most. Be specific about what you want to achieve. Most people don't know what they want to do with their lives, and even after careful consideration, they still don't know what they truly want to do. This is one of the main reasons why most people live an average life, despite there being so many books and workshops on success today. Think carefully and decide what you truly want to achieve. These must be things that are genuinely important to you. Create an action plan. Take as much time as you need to figure out one or more goals, even small ones. Not everyone truly yearns for brilliant success and is willing to completely change their life. Not everyone longs to become a millionaire or possess money-making talent. After finding the goal you truly desire to achieve, outline a plan that is as realistic as possible. List the steps. List the steps you need to take. For example, enrolling in a course, learning to read, developing necessary skills, finding a job, and other steps you need to take to get closer to your goal. Act, don't be passive. Take action and follow the steps on your list. Don't just passively sit back and wait for things to happen. Read and listen to advice. Read books or articles about what you want to achieve. Meet people who can help you and listen to their advice, but use your reason and common sense before accepting anything. Alternative plans. If a plan doesn't work, you need to have alternatives or backup plans. Therefore, prepare thoroughly before starting implementation. Review your goals periodically. Some goals are not worth achieving. Circumstances and people change. Some goals lose their importance. You should regularly review your goals and eliminate worthless ones. *8. balance body and mind. In modern life, full of fluctuations, stress takes over, and people often find themselves setting high expectations to try and balance career and family, worrying about life, money, post-pandemic times, and what's left is depletion of energy. Finding fulfillment in all aspects of life is no longer easy, causing dissatisfaction and a gradual loss of balance. Perhaps we haven't realized that solving one issue with a single self-awareness is not enough. Simply put, we haven't prioritized a holistic approach to ourself, mind, and health. Here are 25 ways to balance your mind, body, and soul. Read and learn regularly. Your learning should not stop when you leave school. Expand your mind with new possibilities, beliefs, and interests by reading, taking online classes, watching documentaries, and attending workshops. Meditate regularly. Meditation improves memory, attention, mood, immune system function, sleep, and creativity. All it takes is a few minutes a day to start reaping the benefits. Practice yoga. Yoga helps you build strength, coordination, and flexibility while calming the mind, which is very beneficial for your overall health. It also involves connecting mind, body, and soul. Avoid prolonged sitting. Try to stand or move while you work if possible. Sitting too much is linked to heart disease, diabetes, and shortened lifespan. Exercise. Exercise at a moderate to fast pace for at least 15 minutes daily. Live close to work, walk or bike on nice days. Exercise is crucial for cardiovascular health, physical endurance, and mood. Spend time outdoors, especially during ideal times of the year, for hiking, climbing, picnicking, camping. Join a volunteer organization or group. Use your voice or talents to do good, meaningful things and fuel your passion. Dedicate a little time each day to do what makes your soul happy. Many of us work so much that we forget how wonderful it feels to draw, dance, compose music, write, garden, or swim. Listen to music regularly and sing or dance along. Be grateful. Take time each day to write or think about the things you are grateful for, such as family, friends, pets, food, shelter, health, or the beauty of nature. Be kind to everyone, including yourself. Before loving others, learn to love yourself. Get enough sleep every night, and remember that you're never too old to take a nap. Gradually give up your cosmetic beauty routine. Switch to natural products, eliminate harsh chemical cleaners from your home, buy green cleaners or make your own. Find a career path that is meaningful to you. Pursue your dreams, not wealth. Let go of the small things. If something isn't important tomorrow, don't let it ruin today. A little rest and relaxation when you're used to being on the go can recharge your mind and body. Don't be a people pleaser. There's a difference between being kind and being a doormat. If you spend too much time worrying about what others will think, you will lose yourself and ultimately feel miserable. Eliminate major sources of stress from your life. This includes unnecessary spending, clutter, a job you hate, or unhealthy relationships. Avoid gossip and drama. Judging your neighbors and colleagues doesn't make you happier. It only makes you harder to trust. Laugh often, travel, and learn about other cultures. Do this as much as possible. Forgive your past mistakes. Learn from the past, but don't let it destroy you. Choose natural remedies whenever you can. With the guidance of a holistic health practitioner, herbs, proper food, and essential oils can heal very well with fewer dangerous side effects than most pharmaceuticals. *9. Live like there's no tomorrow. The book of Proverbs in the Bible states a wise teaching. It is better to go to a house of mourning than to go to a house of feasting, for death is the destiny of everyone. The living should take this to heart. At first listen, it might sound a bit negative. However, reflecting a little deeper, we will find its meaning profound and its influence on everyone's life immense. Many people, while living, never think about dying and never care about the true value of life. Suddenly, they fall ill or are in a dangerous situation facing death. Only then do they realize what truly matters in life, but it's often too late to correct their mistakes. Therefore, if we recognize the certain end of life that we don't live forever, and all glory, money, wealth, and fame will not have lasting value, then we will know where to focus our lives, how to enjoy happiness every day. A common misconception today is that since we are all going to die anyway, we should enjoy today in every way possible, indulging ourselves regardless of the cost, even in the most immoral ways. The consequence of this way of thinking is that it does not bring happiness. On the contrary, it leads to boundless suffering and disappointment. But when we consider that life is finite, we need to do what is best and most meaningful today, not only for ourselves but for our families, for those around us, for the community, so that when tomorrow comes, we leave without regret. That is the most positive way to live. One of Steve Jobs' 3 iconic stories states that he read the quote, "Live each day as if it were your last," at age 17. The realization that every person will face death had a profound impact on him, helping him plan his life and make the most important decisions. It's fascinating that Steve Jobs said his life became miraculously vibrant by thinking about his own death every day. Looking all the way to the end of his life gave Steve Jobs a more comprehensive perspective, allowing him to clearly recognize what was truly important to pursue, to ignore the trivial and unnecessary, and to passionately pursue his passions, creating the machines that have changed humanity over the past 4 decades. Apple, Macintosh, iPod, iPhone, iPad. Almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Steve Jobs once said, "Another proverb in the Bible is also very valuable to each of us. Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom." We need to pay attention to the fact that our time each day shortens, that we don't know where the end of life is 10 years, 20 years, or even tomorrow. Only then will we cherish each passing day. Often we might be very happy when we achieve something or earn a lot of money. But there comes a time when we would be willing to spend any amount of money to hold onto one more day of life on Earth. Steve Jobs was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. That was the moment Steve Jobs called the time he became acutely aware of being close to death, which became a turning point in his life, bringing a new connection, a new positive way of thinking about death. Death clears out the old to make way for the new. He and Apple then continued to change the world with endlessly creative new things. In 2007, Apple entered the mobile phone market with the iPhone, featuring a touchscreen and running on its operating system. In May 2010, Apple released the iPad tablet, creating a wave of tablets worldwide. Steve Jobs' story concludes with the advice, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary." Asterisk 10. Happiness is a choice. Every minute you spend angry, sad, disappointed, or experiencing negative emotions, you lose 60 seconds of happiness from your life. Happiness is a choice. Happy people understand that, and they choose happiness. Happy people are not held hostage by circumstances and do not seek happiness in people or possessions. They know that when we stop chasing a definition of a happy world, we begin to experience happiness from deep within our souls. But simply choosing happiness is not enough. We need to make conscious decisions to find joy in life, to freely choose to be happier every day. So how do you find joy? Here are some guidelines for you to choose happiness today. Always be grateful for life. Happy people often focus on the positive aspects of life. They are always grateful for the smallest, simplest things and express gratitude whenever possible. Always smile. A smile is a wonderful beauty. But more than that, studies show that making an emotional face affects how you feel about yourself and life. It makes you feel much more comfortable. Always treat everyone well. Everyone is kind. But more than that, you should treat others with all the respect you have. Treat everyone you meet with kindness, patience, and goodness. It benefits the recipient. You also benefit yourself by growing in altruism, satisfaction, and compassion. Look for the good in your pain. This life can be difficult. There is no growth without pain. At some point, somehow, we all have to face it. When you do, remind yourself again that challenges can be difficult, but they will pass, and pain also brings you the value of true happiness. Learning to change your attitude is extremely difficult, but the final reward we receive is extremely worthy. When we choose to be happy, everything tends to flow naturally, and luck always seems to be on our side. And even if things don't happen the way you expect, if you choose to be happy, you can accept any situation, no matter what it is, and enjoy life regardless of how it treats you. You see, happiness is a choice, and you are the one who decides whether your life will be happy or not. So what is your choice? So, we have together explored valuable lessons from the book, Open Mindset, by author Nguyen Anh Dung. This book not only helps us reevaluate our way of thinking in life, but also encourages us to expand our personal limits, daring to change to embrace new opportunities. An open mindset is an endless journey where we learn to break free from our limitations to see a broader and more multidimensional world. This is the key to success and development, not only in work, but also in relationships and daily life. Thank you for listening to Audio Stop. I am Tran Min Fung. I hope that after this episode, you will find the motivation to broaden your mindset and explore your world more freely and creatively. See you at the next stop, where we will continue to explore more fascinating stories and lessons from wonderful books.